Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here. It's Tuesday morning. We got a classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia, even though our guy is still on our team, but we're going to do the old style of trivia today. It'll be a throwback. You guys will be so happy to do this trivia today because it's going to have the feel of the old trivia that I used to always do. We haven't done one of these in so long. We've done a lot of like team-oriented trivias. We did AI trivias. We've had all kinds of weird subjects, but we haven't done a player trivia in a while. And we're going to honor Chris Boucher today because I was like, everybody's showing so much love for Chris right now as far as the rookies on Instagram. And that electric feel video is so awesome. Like that song is just a perfect song for his body and the way he moved around on the court, and does stuff. So it's like, this is awesome. So Chris Boucher, you're getting the classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia for today. In some ways, I'm doing it in honor of you, my guy. We did OG earlier this season. They're like the only two players really the kind of recent players that I've done trivia on. So we got questions about Chris coming up, but limit the comments because I'll go through them real quick and we'll go right into it. All right, guys. So it looks like Monique is going to be first in this morning. Good to see the superfan Monique Lawrence showing up this morning. And we're going to do her birthday party on June the 7th at NBA Restaurant. It's a Raptor Freak hangout get together for Monique's the superfan's birthday on June the 7th at NBA Restaurant. 5:30 p.m. is the reservation time. And I need to ask you guys, please RSVP with us soon if you're planning on coming. Cool Cat, I know you were saying that you were thinking about trying to come, and hopefully you can lock that down and get down there and have dinner with us, Monique, and the Giants of Africa people, and all of the other people that intersect in Superfan Mo's amazing life. You got to come down there, seriously, because the RFF is just a small part of this thing. Seriously, we're a very small part of this thing. There's way more to it than just us. And if you come down there, you guys will probably meet some like really, really cool people that have to do with the Raptors that you probably would have never met if not because of Superfan Mo. Like last year, it was crazy. I got to meet Kimberly, who works for Masai at Giants of Africa. And she was just such a really sweet, nice person. And she was really concerned about Evelyn and her house burning down and all kinds of stuff. Just really, really awesome people will be at Monique's birthday party. So hopefully you guys can come and join us. Also, Monique saying, "Where do I? Yeah, or Cool Cat saying, where do I RSVP for the hangout?" Well, just tell us. Mo's here, and just say, "Yeah, I'm going to come if you can," and we'll mark you down as one of the ones on the reservation because she just wants to know the idea of what the number is going to be, so she can let the NBA restaurant know what's up. So yeah. Let's see what else is going on here. Mo's saying, "Good morning, Raptor Free crew. Hope all is well. Off to the NBA restaurant for brunch today and getting things sorted out. Go Raptors." This is part of the reason why she wants to know because she's going there today to get the reservation sorted out. And also, she's going to be there today. So she's going down there with her mom to have a brunch at the NBA restaurant today. So she can inform them. She just wants a ballpark figure for what she thinks that we're going to be coming at what number from the RFF. That's it right there. Trevor J's here. God is never done with you. He is always giving you the opportunity to do the right thing, giving you the opportunity to improve. That's awesome. I love that. Listen, it's true. We're all hopeless sinners, and we've all done bad things. We've all done things that are just not right, but there is always redemption. And you can redeem yourself through the followings of Christ and other religions. It doesn't have to be Christianity. It's just, you got to understand that like God made all of us imperfect, but we can find a way to be more and more right with how we are. In some ways it's like, yeah, we're works in progress, and in some ways, it's never too late. You can get yourself together in the right way, still, even in late stages in life. So keep it up. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Commissioner Fun, Trevor J. Thank you for being a rock on this channel, my guy. Yeah, man. He's saying that Denver coach Mike Malone will join ESPN for the Western Conference playoffs. Yeah, this is interesting. I think this is a really interesting play by ESPN that they're added him to the panel with Kendrick Perkins and Bob Myers and them. And, because in some ways it's like, look, what if his team had made it, right? What if Denver had won on Sunday and they were going to be the ones playing tonight in the opening game of the Western Conference Finals Minnesota and Oklahoma City. That would have been awkward. It would have been interesting to hear his commentary doing the game for David Edelman and the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. But alas, I think that they made this decision with that in mind, that if Denver had made it, he wouldn't have been doing this job. But because Denver didn't make it, they invited him to come in. Now, it would be very interesting to hear Coach Malone and his opinions on the two teams in the Western Conference Finals and how he feels about them, because he was in the thick of it with them just 2 months ago. It's kind of crazy that man just lost his job with Denver not that long ago, and Denver got pretty far in the playoffs. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting news. I find it very, very interesting. Cool Cat is here. Good morning, Raptor Free crew. I love Boucher. I wish the best for him and his family and career. Yeah, we're going to definitely learn a little bit more about him today, guys, because this is Raptor Freak Classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia. This is not easy trivia. We know this is like PhD level Raptors trivia. If you people come here and you try and play Raptors trivia and you think it's going to be basic AI book, no, that may have been last week, not this week. No. None of this. Like, how many 3-pointers did Chris Bosh get in 2004? What is this? Nah, we ain't doing any of this. We are doing it the old school way, the way I wrote this. And this is interesting. And this trivia is going to be learning and fun. That's what I'm saying right there. Learning and fun. Where do you RSVP? Just let us know right here. That's right. And Mo will go in with some numbers in her head so she can tell them what's going on. Trevor's saying they're saying rest in peace, the NBA super team. Good riddance. I'm all about this funeral. If this is what's happening right now, I'm fine with it. NBA super teams were interesting phenomena that started around Boston Celtics in 2009. And, well, 15 years of this crap. And in some ways, I'm kind of glad it's gone. I really am. The last super team really was kind of Golden State, guys. The last super team was Golden State, and we killed it. Seriously, since then, they're not super teams. They're just teams that won championships. And it's evidenced by the different champion every year. So, yeah, the last super team really, that died back in 2019 with Oracle Arena. The super team, the dynasty team. That all died back then. So it's like they're saying it died now. Well, they're a little late. That is a very cold corpse, because that corpse has been dead for 6 years. And they just noticed now? Really? Seriously? That's so funny. That's good, man. Fiercey's here. MJ's ready to play. She's a trivia master. She's a badass on this. Good morning, fam, and happy Tuesday to you, MJ. Randolph is here. Good to see you, Randolph Phillips. Beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang blessings. Your actions reveal your thoughts. Your mouth says what you are thinking in your heart. Clearly, actions speak louder than words. Love. There you go. That's the action. That's the proper action. Just put love into everything you do. And in some ways, you will not go wrong. You will not go wrong if you go with hate, if you go with unpure thoughts. If you go with love, if you go with pure, unadulterated, I care about you and I'm looking out for you kind of, I want you to be happy kind of energy, that is where you will never falter. And blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families on this lovely Tuesday after a long weekend here in Canada. Monique saying, glad you're doing Chris today, but I probably won't be here long. You might get a couple of these, Mo. So seriously, because some of these are so hard, but I know you know them right away. You might get it in there before people get it. Seriously. So we'll get it going really quick here. I know you got to go to brunch, so we got to get this done. Fiercely Sam, would have been interesting to hear Coach Malone covering the Lakers. You know what? I'll give you a dunk for that one. That made me laugh, because that would be really funny. He'd be like, what if he called them his children? He was like, I'm their daddy. Every other play, he's like, oh, my children were out there playing, and the Lakers lost again. LeBron is my child. 51 dunk points for Fiercey for that one. That's funny. Blackhawks here. Good to see Neil. If Giannis is traded to the Spurs, that will be called a super team. I can see ESPN going crazy over it. Now, that may be true. But you know what? In some ways, you don't call it a super team unless it's got 3 top-of-the-notch superstars. And I don't know if they've got that exactly. Maybe if they keep Fox, they could kind of fudge it and say Wemby, Giannis, and Fox are a super team. But in some ways, they're not equal carrying players. De'Aaron Fox is not on the level of superstar as Victor Wembanyama and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So if that was the triumvirate, there's a weak third. And that's why I would say this isn't true. because you're going to have Victor and Giannis will be considered the two superstars, kind of like LeBron and Luka in LA. But the next person is not on their level and is a little bit lower. So this could be actually compared to Giannis already with Dame Lillard and their situation. That it's the same thing. Two superstars with Dame and Giannis, and then there's tiers after that. So I would say it's not necessarily a super team, even if they get Giannis in San Antonio, because it's two superstars. You got to have three. You got to have those three. You got to have Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett. You got to have LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. That's the way I look at it right there. Yeah. All right, let's see. Y'all cut down on the comments because we're going to go right into the trivia very soon. Neil saying most chances are I will take 2 seats. There you go. Yeah. And Fiercey's laughing. Roger's here. Roger Raymond, good to see you live on the chat this morning, man. Good day, Lex and Raptor Freak family. Good morning to you, Roger. I hope you're ready for some Chris Boucher trivia on Mr. Van Sank. That's right. He's coming in real quick, just like running off the bench into the game in a second. Yeah. Blackhawks saying you're right about the 3, but the media is thirsty for it. Yeah, well, they're going to hype stuff. They're going to hype stuff for sure. But I think that it's going to be really hard under the new salary cap structure to actually have 3 bona fide top-level superstars on a team, like the Brooklyn Nets, maybe like a couple years ago with Kyrie, James, and Kevin. That, it's going to be hard to do this. And in fact, if you do this, well, you're going to get the Suns. And that's going to be bad. You don't necessarily want to get the super team because you may really make yourself really bad. And I think that the Phoenix Suns are the early cautionary tale in the new salary cap era of what not to do. The Phoenix Suns are very much a good example of what not to do in this league right now. Overpay and pay all this money to guys and then lose a lot. That's not what you want to do with an NBA team. That's for sure. That's right. Smooth saying expecting a Giannis to Spurs announcement sooner than later. We'll have to see. That second pick is probably going to be on the move. And if that's happening, Dylan Harper will probably be a Milwaukee Buck. We'll just have to see. Yeah. And Most saying, thanks, Neil. Yeah. So he's putting him down for 2 seats for Neil. Boom goes the dynamite. There you go. I like that. So we got Neil coming back with a +1. Myself and Adriana are planning to be there. And hopefully Cool Cat can make it. Maybe Kareem Thomas was coming to this one. We'll see. And people that came last year, people like Gerald, if you come back. Come back this year. Come back. Let's go to the NBA restaurant. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Neil, hopefully you can get there sooner than near the end of the like last year. Hopefully we can see you earlier on. Reggie's saying, okay, wait. Kaz is here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Free Crew. Good Tuesday morning to you, Trucker Kaz. Good to see you, sir. And let's see. Fiercely saying, not Lex, not mentioning CP3 as part of the Spurs super team. No, Chris is too old. Chris Paul may have been a super team third, maybe back when he was on the Clippers with Blake Griffin. Maybe you could have started calling him a third of a super team like 3. But no, he's too old at this point. He doesn't score like he used to. And he's just a different kind of player at this point, Chris Paul. But yeah, I don't diss Chris Paul. I like Chris Paul. I wouldn't diss Chris Paul for no reason. I love Chris Paul. Trevor's saying the Celtics are in the luxury tax this season, $486 million. Yeah, they're in the second apron, which means a lot of penalties, means limited ability to move players and do trades and transactions. And it means paying a lot of extra money to the league. That's why this new system is awesome, man. It really is making parity. And we've got 4 really good teams in the last part of the playoffs, partly because of this. That's right. Adriana's excited for Mo's birthday party. There you go. Adriana's in the trivia chat. Now, Adriana, I didn't test my questions with you yesterday. I tested them with my dad. So she has no prior knowledge of these questions if she's going to play today. So let's get this going right now. You're saying that Chris should retire, but he won't? Chris Paul? I think if he can still play, just much like Kyle Lowry, they're the same kind of player, man. Mike Conley, Kyle Lowry, Chris Paul, they're all getting close to that. But if they, honestly, you got to honor guys that are like that. Floor generals that have been so good for so long and they're savvy and they can still play at the NBA level. It's just like Garrett Temple. He said, if I physically could still play at the NBA level and I feel like I'm okay, I want to keep playing. And these guys are competitors. They don't want to quit. So if Chris Paul's helpful to a team, he'll still play in the NBA. Mike Conley, same thing. I mean, Mike Conley is about to play tonight in the Western Conference Finals. And Kyle Lowry, I think out of the three of them, he's probably the one who should retire first. No disrespect, Grote, but in some ways, where you're at with where those guys are at, you're not doing as much. That's for sure. And that's what I say right there. Yeah. Bringing the young ones, well, that movement's already happening. In some ways, you got to think about this, Neil. This league has been usually having way more percentage of veterans, and they've been weeding them out and less. So to be a player like Lowry, Paul, and Conley, that's a big deal in today's league because they are not keeping people around. There has been a youth movement. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna side with the old guys because this league needs more veterans. This league has lost a lot of veterans in the last couple of years, and teams have been worse for it. And they've realized to overcorrect and get veterans back on their team. So I won't agree with this. The young guys are going to come in either way, but you do need vets in this league. I feel like the balance has been really poor in the young end too much. There's way too much young knuckleheadedness in the NBA and not enough old vets that know what they're doing and play the game right. And I think that has been an issue. All right, let's get into trivia right now, guys. We're starting right now, 15 minutes in. This is Chris Boucher, Tuesday, Classic Jurassic Trivia. Let's go. Question number 1 is, what is Chris Boucher's middle name? First person to write it in will get the 50-point question. That's right. Blackhawk, I need to do trivia. I don't want to do a discussion on this right now. Seriously, man. Seriously. Trevor's saying, who made that rule to kick your job when you're not ready to leave? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Who made that rule to kick your job when you're not ready to leave? Listen, it's not always up to you. It could be about the business situations and stuff like that. But when a player retires, sometimes if they can leave gracefully on their own terms, that's great. That's great. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, Blackhawk, these people don't have a very long career. And you're saying when they have these players playing to 40 and collecting big checks is not pretty? What are you talking about? I like old players in the league. They know what they're doing. In fact, they're likely to do some really cool stuff and do interesting things. I don't get with this, man. You can't be dissing Garrett Temple like this. Let's stay focused. We're talking Chris Boucher. We're not talking about aged players in the league, Neil. Come on, man. Don't railroad my trivia stream into something else that it needs to be right now. The subject is Chris Boucher trivia. And Monique has got me an answer as Joseph. That's not right. That is not right. That is not Chris Boucher's middle name. So, yeah, this may be a hard question. I started right off the bat. You guys know what the trivia question is for the old school player trivia. This is, what is the middle name of the player? And, well, in some ways, I'm being mean on this one. But Joseph is not it. Fiercey's going to get it because she's right. He doesn't have one. Fiercey's going to get it. He does not have a middle name. He is just Christopher Boucher. That was a trick question. I apologize for that, Monique. It's a trick question. Chris is just Christopher Boucher. That's his name. It's just Christopher Boucher. He doesn't have a middle name. Fiercey got it. That's right. All right. What city and place was Chris born? What city and place was he born? Sneaky, huh, Adriana? Sneaky, yeah. Yeah, was that in Gemini? No, I don't use AI in Gemini. I did see that clip with Scotty. We'll talk about that afterwards. You're distracting the trivia, Blackhawk. I need answers, not comments in some ways. It was not in Gemini. I did all my research on my own. I don't use AI to do my research. All right, Fiercey's on it. Fiercey, are you going to do this off the top of your head, or are you going to go to the Wikipedia? It's Castries, Lake St. Lucia is where he's from. That is the city and the place. Of course, St. Lucia is the place of birth of Chris Boucher. So Fiercey's 2 for 2 so far on Chris Boucher trivia. Here's this third question here. Yeah, he grew up in Montreal. We know this. That's right. He came to Montreal when he was very young. What Canadian restaurant did Chris Boucher work at when he dropped out of high school? He became a dishwasher and a cook at this Canadian food restaurant chain. And I don't know if I've done it on the straight goods of Canadian goods yet. I should probably do it soon. That's right. Fiercey's saying, Lex not using AI unlike that Raptors book. Yeah, I don't use it. I'm not in there with that. I'm not with AI at all, guys. That was an interesting clip with Scotty Barnes and Google Gemini. I just watched it before I came on the air now. But I'm still not with AI. I'm sorry. I will talk about that afterwards. Once again, Boston Pizza is not right, Cream Thomas. Good to see the Dunk Champ in the chat. It's not Boston Pizza. Subway is not right, Fiercey. Neil's saying Swiss Chalet, but then he says, or Saint Hubert, which is Saint Hubert is right. It is Saint Hubert is where Chris was working. So it's going to be Neil on this one. Blackhawk getting on the board for this question. He was working at Saint Hubert Chicken in Montreal as a dishwasher and a cook. when he dropped out of high school. He dropped out of high school and went to work at Saint Hubert. That's right, Saint Hubert Chicken. That's right, Roger Raymond. Make sure you're live. Yeah, not Subway or Cora. Nope, not Pizza, not Pizza. It's Saint Hubert. I thought it was actually maybe Mary Brown's, but no, it's Saint Hubert. That's right, Saint Hubert chicken lacks seasoning. Benny much better. Benny. I don't even know what Benny is. All right, next question, guys. What two small schools did Chris Boucher attend before he went to Oregon, University of Oregon? What two small schools did Chris Boucher attend for college before he went to University of Oregon? Yeah, is Mary Brown's in Montreal? I don't even know if Mary Brown's was around there. It's this newer chain, isn't it? I'm not sure. You're distracting once again, Neil. I want to do questions and answers here. I don't want to do all kinds of other stuff. Seriously, you're sidetracking me, man. McGill? No, he wasn't at McGill. New Mexico. That's not totally the full answer, but you've got half of it. You've half-assed the answer, Fiercey. Somebody can seagull you if you get the other two words that go with that. And yeah, because it's too easy. You don't know the other part? Okay. And you don't know the other one. Okay, there were two colleges that he went to that are lower level, like not even, I don't even know if they're Division II. They're pretty low level universities before he got to University of Oregon. There were two places he stopped by and played briefly out west, one of them in New Mexico, when Fiercey's got it, and one of them in Idaho. Yeah, here we go. Randolph's got it right here. Oh, boom goes the dynamite. Randolph is playing trivia right now as New Mexico Junior College is the proper part because New Mexico University is something else. New Mexico Junior College was the junior college, and Northwest College in Wyoming. There's Randolph picking up 100 points, 50 for each answer on the college question. I love to see Mr. Phillips getting involved in the trivia. This is not a normal action. So there you go. Randolph's on it. He's got the education of Chris. All right, here we go, guys. Here's an easier one. Who was Chris's co-host on his podcast, Hustle Play? Who was the co-host? Full name answer. Don't half-ass me. Who co-hosted the Hustle Play podcast with Chris? What is the name of that gentleman? That's right. First and last name, please. The co-host of the Hustle Play podcast with Chris Boucher. It's too bad it's not around anymore. Fiercey's got it. Of course, is Mike Roach. Mike Roach, of course, is a technical producer for the big networks that cover the game. And you can see Mike down near the broadcast team before the game, setting things up and kind of hanging around. Matt Devlin, Alvin Williams, getting things ready for the broadcast. So Mike Roach is in production for TV, and he does work. I believe he works for Sportsnet. I'm not totally sure. I think he's there usually when Alvin's there. So he's working for Sportsnet. But yeah, Mike Roach is the answer, even though you put an X in there for his last name. You did fix it there. I see that. Yeah. Mo wrote it in too. So Mo's going to get it. Mo's on it too. So Mo's getting the 50 points also because she wrote it. And actually, she spelled it correctly before Fiercey. So she should get it. Stargate saying Chris is well-traveled. Put some respect on his name. Yeah, those two schools are very small. Now forget about Siakam going to New Mexico State, right? New Mexico Junior College is another whole level below New Mexico State with Siakam. And then Northwest College in Wyoming. You think that this is a big school? Northwest? Have you heard of Northwest? I've heard of Northwestern, but I've never heard of Northwest. That's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, here we go. We got 5 answers for this question, all worth 50 points. So be ready on this and full name answers, please. Okay, full name answers. Seriously, Kareem is here. He knows the rule. What teammates played the most games with Chris Boucher in his entire NBA career? Top 5. I want them right now. Who are the top 5 people that played the most games with Chris in his NBA career? Who has played the most games as a teammate of his on the court? Siakam is number 1 on the list. Fiercey's got number 1. It is Siakam. Siakam is number 1 on the list. Let's see. Kyle Lowry is not on the list, Stargate. It's a good guess. Fred VanVleet is on the list, though. Fiercey's going to get Fred. Fred is 3rd on the list. He's number 3. Norman Powell from Roger Raymond. He's not on the list. He's near there, though. Kyle Lowry's not on the list, Monique, unfortunately. Fred VanVleet is. OG Anunoby is 2nd on the list. Fiercey got 1, 2, and 3. She's cleaning up. There's 2 more names on the list. Let's see if you guys can get 4 and 5. Nobody's gotten those 2 yet. Yeah, Scotty Barnes is 4th. Fiercey, you just guessing this off the top of your head? because you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Scotty Barnes is 4th. There's one more. And Gary Trent Jr. You didn't go look this up, Fiercey, did you? I want to believe you're going off the top of your head today. So you're just so good. Unfortunately, Stargate, Chris never played a single game with DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan was traded the summer before Chris came in. So, yeah, DeMar is not on the list. So, yeah, the top 5 are Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes, and Gary Trent Jr. Those are the top 5 players since then. No, you're just thinking about it. She just knows. She's a Raptor freak. She just knows those are the 5 players that played around this time the most with Chris. And she's exactly right. You know who's number 6 on the list? Just for fun. I'm not going to give any points for this. But who do you guys think is the 6th most games with Chris Boucher in his history on the Raptors? I guess because he barely played on the Warriors. Nobody's going to be on the Warriors. Norman? No, it's not Norm. It's not Norm. Who do you guys think is the 6th player? This is just for fun, just for kind of giggles here. Who do you think is 6? It's not Kyle or Norm. It's not Kyle or Norm. They're in the top 10, though. Thad Young? No, it's not Thad. Adriana got it. It's Malachi. Malachi is number 6. Malachi Flynn played the 6 most games with Chris Boucher in his career. So, yeah, look at Adriana. You know what? I'm going to give Adriana some trivia points just for getting that. You know what? Seriously, we're going to give Adriana 50 points. We're getting Malachi, although she half-assed it. Why did you half-ass it, Adriana? You got to write the full name answers here. Can't be doing this Norm and Flynn stuff, guys. You got to write the names in there. No half-ass. All right. But just fun that Adriana got it, so I'll give it to her. All right, on the reverse, you can't spell Malachi? That's why you didn't do it? Okay, I get it. Who has played the most games as an opponent to Chris Boucher in his career? Who has played the most games as an opponent against Chris in games? Yeah, I'm going to give her 25, Stargate. I got her. Yeah, she's going to get on there. LeBron James is a good guess. I will say this. That's the wrong conference. I'll give guesses, tips, because this is hard. It's like a needle in the haystack. It's the wrong conference. LeBron James is wrong. Yeah. Put LeBron in. Yeah. It's kind of like if it's Raptors trivia, just answer Vince and you probably get it, right? Just put Vince Carter in. You'll get the answer usually. Not on this show, though. Giannis Antetokounmpo. You've got the right division. How about that? You've got the right division now. Kevin Durant, wrong conference, wrong division. DeMar? No, not DeMar. Jason Tatum, wrong division. We got the right division with Giannis. It's somebody in the division that Giannis Antetokounmpo plays in. On a team that plays in that division. That's the way you can tell. So Joel Embiid is wrong. It's not Joel. Randolph Phillips, good guess. Jason Tatum is wrong also. Who has played the most games against Chris Boucher in his career as an opponent? Who has the most games as an opponent versus Chris Boucher? We did the teammates question. We're doing who has played the most games opponent. Jaylen Brown is wrong. I told y'all, this is a player that plays in the Central Division. So that's the clue so far. Somebody said Giannis. I said they play in the same division as Giannis. So it's got to be from one of the teams in the Central Division, the players. So no Atlantic, no Western Conference, guys. So you got to think Central Division team. Let's see. Mo's here. Hey, Lex, on Google, it says Joseph as Chris's middle name. On Google, it says that? On his Wikipedia, on his basketball reference, on a whole bunch of different places, no middle name was listed. But I'll research this afterwards. But he doesn't officially have a middle name in the places I've looked. Just so you know, Mo. But I'll look at this afterwards. I'll have to judge on this later, okay? Is it Miles Turner? That's a good guess. But that's not right. It's a different team in the Central Division. It's not the Milwaukee Bucks, and it is not the Indiana Pacers. So it's a different team. We're narrowing it down here. Bobby Portis? Is that what you mean? Bobby Portis of Milwaukee? No. It's not a Buck, and it's not a Pacer. But it is a team from the Central Division. So you got to go look at those other teams that are left. That's right. Who is left? This may take a little while. We'll get there. I'm going to help y'all guide to get to it. And it's kind of like the NBA Wordle thing that they do, Purtle, where you try and figure out the player. Kevin Love played for Cleveland. No, wait, Miami. He played for Miami this year. No, it's not in that division. It's in the Central Division, not Southeast Division. Central Division, not Milwaukee, and not Indiana. So you got to think about who are the other teams in the Central Division. And what player would that be? This team did go to the playoffs. So this is a team that was in the playoffs. This player played in the playoffs. That is the answer. And, it'll be, you guys will get it. It's like pulling teeth here. This is a tough question. This may be the toughest question today. One of the tougher ones. There's a couple really tough ones. But yeah, Central Division team, not the Bucks or the Pacers. So think about the other 3 teams that are in that league. Nikola Vucevic. So you're saying Bulls. No, it is not a Bull. So you're narrowing it down even further. No Bulls, no Bucks, and no Pacers. There's 2 teams left in the Central Division now that you haven't guessed from, that you can try and figure out who it is from. It is not Vucevic. That's a good guess, though. It's a good guess. I would say the player that's closest. Okay, Colin Sexton. That's Cavaliers. It is not a Cavalier. So we got the right team now. Cade Cunningham is the right team, but that is not the right player. So we know it's a Piston, guys. You guys know it's a Piston. Josh Hart is a Knick. That is not right, Cass. So it's a Piston. We know it's a Piston, but it's not Cade Cunningham. You guys have got the right team now. So Fierce Season's on the track. We'll have to see which one. Remember, full name answers, James, is not Andre Drummond, who plays for Philadelphia. It is not Andre Drummond. Remember, I want full name answers. Malik Beasley. That's a good guess. That's not right. It's not right. It's not Beef Stew. Isaiah Stewart is not that name either. I'll accept that as a full name answer, I guess, because you put Beef Stew. But no, it's not Beef Stew. It's not Malik Beasley. It is not Cade Cunningham, but it is a Piston. It is a Piston. So we got to keep going through the Pistons until you figure it out, guys. Think about all the different Pistons on the team. Maybe the ones that have been on the team the longest, the ones that have been around in the league the longest. Not Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey has been hurt, and he's too young, and he's not been in the league long enough. Not Jaden Ivey. Nope. It's got to be one of those vets that's on the Pistons. It's got to be a vet. Think about it. There's 3 vets that y'all have not named. Dennis Schroeder is a good guess. That's the closest guess so far is wrong. It's not Dennis. Taj Gibson. Wow, you're really digging deep there. I thought Taj was on Washington. Isn't he on the Washington Wizards? Tobias Harris is the right answer. It's like easy coming in with it. It is Tobias. Tobias Harris is the right answer. Tobias Harris was the right answer. He's played the most games against Chris Boucher in his history in the NBA. Tobias. That's right. Slug Deasy getting in just before Cass. Cass was right behind. Tim Hardaway Jr. was a good guess, was not right. Is Tobias. Tobias is the right answer. Boom. We got there. We got there finally. All right. This is the one you need to get on right now, Monique, and type it right away. Okay. Type it right away, Mo. Who is Chris Boucher's manager? Who is Chris Boucher's manager? Write it in right now, Mo. I know that you know it right away. Just write it in. You can put his first name in, and I'll take it. I'll take it. If you put his first name in, Mo, you got it. Nobody else is going to get this fast enough to get it. I know Mo will. If she writes in Chris Boucher's manager's name right now, she'll get these points on this one. That's right. What is Chris Boucher's manager's name? I would say full name answer for everybody else. Half the answer for Monique, if she can write it in. That's right. Who knows who Chris Boucher's manager's name is? Yeah, you guys even know? We know his name's Everybody's Uncle on Instagram. Everybody's Uncle. But what is his name? We need the name of Chris's manager right here and now. Boom goes a dynamite. He's also the co-GM of the Montreal Alliance and the CBL. That's right. He's an assistant or co-GM of that basketball team. He's also the manager of Slim Duck, and he is a really close friend of Chris's. He's the person he trusts the most in the world, probably, is this guy. What is his name? Monique, are you still here, or did you go to the NBA restaurant? If she doesn't answer it soon, I'll, somebody else will jump in there and get it. But like I said, I need a full name answer. I need a full name answer. If you're not named Monique, if you're Monique, I'll take the first name and that's it. If you want. But yeah, she may have taken off. It looks like she's not here. She's not answering. Maybe we'll see. What is the name of Chris Boucher's manager, guys? Come on now. Somebody, I guess anybody can answer if Mo's not going to get it. So she may have, like I said, she may have stepped away from the computer at this point. She may be got salty about the Joseph middle name. I'm telling you, it doesn't list him as having a middle name. Seriously. What is Chris's middle name? If it's AI generated, Gemini said that. What is Chris Boucher's middle name? We've got to understand that there's 2 Chris Bouchers, okay? There's a Chris Boucher author, and Chris Boucher is, there's an author. What is basketball? What is Raptors Chris Boucher's middle name? It's unknown to the public. See, it says on AI that he has no middle name. That's right. Okay, let's see. Monica's come in with the name finally, but behind the other two people. Mo, come on now. I'm going to give it to you anyway, but we're going to give it to Roger Raymond also. Mo's going to get it, and Roger Raymond. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I gave you enough time to get in there and get it quick. Randolph is in there also. I like to see Randolph getting the name also. Ibrahim Apia is the manager of Chris Boucher. That's the answer right there. Boom goes the dynamo. So Mo was still here. I was like, man, I know Mo's going to get this one. This is the one she should get. All right. What's the next question? What game does Chris primarily play when he is on Twitch? What game does Chris primarily play when he goes live on Twitch with the fans? What is he usually playing on the Twitch? There's one game he's almost always playing. He barely ever plays anything else. Yeah, Call of Duty's right. Trevor J. Commissioner Fun. Trevor J picking up some points. Today we get everybody's on the board today. We got Randolph, Adriana, Trevor J getting points today. I love it. I love it. Fiercey, you're just behind Trevor. Trevor's got it right here. Boom goes the dynamite. All right, next question. How much money has Chris Boucher earned in NBA contracts as of right now? How much money, rounded, has Chris Boucher earned in his NBA contract? And y'all, don't spam answers. Let's kind of go back and forth a little bit. Fiercely saying 48. That's too low. That's too low. Yep, that's too low. So yeah, let's see what we do. 65 million is too high. 58 million is too high. So we've got a range here. 63 is too high. So we got a range here between 48 and 58 right now. So somewhere in between those two numbers. 54 million is too high. 56 is too high. 47 is too low. 55 is too high. We're getting closer. 70 million is too high. 52 is too high. 53 is too high. We're getting closer. 49 million is too low. 51 is too high. We almost there, guys. You almost got it. We're so close. 50 million. Fiercey. Yeah, Fiercey got it. It's $50 million as of this last contract just ended. This was a $35 million contract he just finished, y'all. So the bulk of his earnings came in the last 3 years on the $35 million that he made on this contract just finishing up. But yeah, Chris has now earned, as of this summer, $50 million in cumulative contracts in the NBA. So 50 is the right answer. You guys were dancing all around it. I was like, wow, there's 49, there's 51. 50, it's 50, it's 50. I rounded that, by the way. But it's like adding it all up, it is right at 50, right around there. All right, next question, guys. You guys are doing great. Isn't it fun to do the old school trivia? These are the old questions we remember. That's right, $50 million, a middle name. Who was playing against him? You know, all that stuff. All right, question 11 of 17. What is the name of Chris's parents? I want 50 points for each person. What is the name of Chris's mother? And what is the name of Chris's father? His father he's estranged from, that he didn't really see anymore. His mom is Mary. That's right. His mom is Mary Fiercey. That's right. Mary McVale. That's right. Is Chris's mother. Such an important person to him. So important. Everything revolves around Mom Mary. Yeah, people don't know a bunch about Chris's dad, though. That's right. Mark? Is Chris's dad's name Mark? No, his dad's name is not Mark. It is not Mark. In fact, I'll give you a clue here. Chris's dad's name is the same name as the cannabis strain that I like to smoke. His dad's is the same name as the sativa I like to get at the store. Mama Boucher and Papa Boucher. John. John is actually technically right, but I want it in the proper terms, the Montreal way, and I want the middle name too. And I just gave the clue. His dad's name is the same name as the cannabis sativa that I like to buy at the store. And Jean-Guy is right. Kaz is gonna get it. Jean-Guy is Chris's dad's name. Jean-Guy Boucher. And yeah, it's the same as the cannabis I like to buy at the cannabis store. Sativa, Jean-Guy. Gene Guy. It's Gene Guy. Yeah. Stepfather's Mark. Yeah, we were doing his real parents. I was doing his real parents. I'm sorry about that, Mo. I was saying the parents. Yeah. Yeah. Jean-Guy. Yeah. You know about Jean-Guy too. Okay. Kaz had inside information. There you go. I know I've been very open about talking about Jean-Guy cannabis on this channel. And well, I thought it was kind of cool that Chris's dad's, or his real dad, not his stepdad, his name is Jean-Guy. Jean-Guy too. Yeah. All right, keep going. All right, next question. All right, these are a little bit tougher here. All right, where does Chris rank on the Toronto Raptors franchise all-time list in rebounds? What is he ranked on the all-time list in the franchise history for rebounds? Who total rebounds? What is his rank in the franchise of the Raptors for rebounds? 10th is right. Slugged easy. He's got it right off the bat. 10th is right. He is the 10th highest most rebounds in the Raptors history out of all the Raptors in the history of it. 10 is right. Yeah, he got it right off the bat. All right. Well, the same question, different category though. Blocks. What is Chris Boucher's rank in all-time blocks for the Raptors franchise total wise? 9th. 9th is close, but it's not right. It is not 9th. I'm not going to go high-low on this. 4th is wrong. 12th is wrong. 7th is wrong. 8th is wrong. What does he rank on blocks? All-time list for the Raptors. 7th is wrong. 8th is wrong. 6th is right. Trevor J got it. It is 6th. He is 6th on the all-time blocks list for the Toronto Raptors franchise. 10th in rebounds. 6th in blocks. Total blocks. There you go. Roger Raymond got it a little bit after Trevor. But 6 is the right answer. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right, next question. What degree of study did Chris study at University of Oregon? What was his field of study in here? Yeah. Wow, is Chris up there? He's up there. He's 6th on blocks and 10th on rebounds. That's right. He's up there. That's all time. Business. He studied business. That's not right, Roger Raymond. He did not study business at University of Oregon. Psychology is close, but not right. Business admin, nope. Slugdeezy's got it. Sociology. Yeah, he, just like Fred, studied sociology. So did I. We're all birds of a feather. Freddie, Chris, and myself, we're all sociology majors. I studied sociology in grad school. But yeah, Fred studied sociology, and so did Chris. Chris is a sociologist. There you go. Infamous says 7. You got to get live, Infamous. Good to see you, Infamous, by the way. Good to see you. All right, guys. Other than Subway, what major big brands, 2 major brands that does Chris endorse the most? Like, I know there's like charities he does, like Helpline and stuff like that. But what are the 2 major brands that he endorses other than Subway, like on TV that you guys see? Yeah, hit that live button. Y'all, everybody, make sure you hit that live button. Make sure you're not there. Mary Brown's? Yeah, he is in Mary Brown's, but that's not one of the answers for here. Isaac's got one of them. Slim Jim is one of the answers I have here. Isaac Campbell, Benevolent One, is here. Let us see, man. We got a real diversity in things right here. Slug D's going to get the other one. Is Puma. Puma is right. Fiercey's just behind Slug on the Puma answer. So Puma and Slim Jim were the 2 answers. New Balance is not correct. But yeah, Puma for shoes and Slim Jim, because it just makes sense that Slim Duck would be a spokesperson for Slim Jim. Just makes sense. Just like the Macho Man Randy Savage fitted. So did Chris Boucher snap into a Slim Jim. Yeah. I don't know how much she's doing with Slim Jim at this point, but he was heavy on the Slim Jim stuff for a while there. That's right. Yeah. His basketball camps, he offers Puma sneakers to the kids. Yeah, he's very much with Puma. That's for sure. He's definitely with Puma. For sure. All right, we got 3 more questions, guys, on the classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia for a great Chris Boucher. I hope this man stays on the Raptors. Hopefully he'll take a discount and stay with the dudes on the Raptors, his guys. Stay with your guys, bro. Stay with your Messiah, bro. Chris Boucher. Come on, man. Take a veteran minimum and stay with the Raptors this year. Come on, my guy. You just made $50 million, bro. You're good. You're good. Come on back for like 2 or 3 this year, please. Please. That's what I say right here. Everyone was saying you need to fact check the book. It's wrong. It's 7. Infamous, you're talking about with the blocks on the all-time block list? That's not right, man. Seriously, it's not the book. I did these ones myself. I wrote these trivia questions myself yesterday because I got sick of the book. And I'll go look at it again because I know exactly where to look for the Raptors franchise records on Basketball Reference. And let's see. I want to make sure I'm right because you're saying it's 7, but I don't think it is. It's not 7. I believe that it is 6. Number 7 on the list is Andrea Bargnani. Number 1 on the blocks list for the Raptors is Chris Bosh. Number 2 is Amir Johnson. Number 3 is Jonas Valanciunas. Number 4 is Vince Carter. Number 5 is Antonio Davis. Number 6 is Chris Boucher. And number 7 is Andrea Bargnani. Number 8, Marcus Camby. Number 9, Pascal Siakam. And number 10 is Blocko Pirtle. So yeah, that's it right there. You're just off. You're just off. It's close. Lex got PTSD from that book. I know. Please don't associate me with AI. No more. No more. Yeah, that book was traumatizing. I'm not gonna lie. That really was traumatizing book. All right, guys. What is the title of Chris Boucher's documentary that just came out in the last 2 years? What is the title of the documentary that came out on Chris Boucher's life story? What is the title of that documentary? They made a whole nice thing about Chris and his life and his story, and talking about his hardships and his climb. Yeah, what is it? Inbound? That's not right. It's not Inbound. It's a good guess, but it's not right. What is the name of Chris Boucher's documentary? That's right. Grind now, shine later. Monique is on it. Boom, goes the dynamite. No denying. Monique Lawrence got that one right out the bat. Boom. Nobody else. Grind now, shine later. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I love that. That's a bona fide Monique Lawrence trivia grab right there. All right, 2 more questions, guys, and we'll be done. Chris is the all-time leader for the Raptors in 2 statistical categories. I'd like to know what those 2 are. What is Chris the all-time leader for the Raptors franchise in 2 statistical categories? One of them is really hard. One of them is really easy. One of them is very well known and should be easy. And then the other one is a little bit harder. Offensive rebounds is not right, guys. Trevor, you got to flesh it out. That's half-assed. That's a half question. That's like you put one part of the name, but not the whole thing. Off the bench, what does that mean, man? What does that mean, Trevor? Off the bench, it's not offensive rebounds, guys, but it is the word offensive. And the other answer is the first word, but there's a second word after it. It's not offensive rebounds, technically. So, okay, most points off the bench. Yes, I'll give Roger that one. He has scored the most points off the bench for the history of the Raptors. Roger Raymond getting that one. Let's see, league score of the bench, leading score off the bench. Yeah, Roger came in and seagulled you, Trevor. I'm sorry, man. He did. He came in there and seagulled you, bro. 3-point shooting? No. Offensive putbacks? No. Offensive something. It is offensive something, but it's not offensive rebounds, offensive putbacks. It is an offensive R. I'll give you that. This is really hard. In some ways, I shouldn't have put this one. Offensive ratings, right. Slug got it. He has the highest offensive rating in the history of the Raptors franchise. That's true. It's on the same page I just looked at to get the blocks leaders. Chris Boucher has the highest offensive rating in the history of the Toronto Raptors franchise right now, man. It's offensive box plus minus. Yeah. He has the highest flopping. He's only because he's so skinny. It's not his fault. All right. Fuse is making me laugh today. All right, last question on the Tuesday trivia. Chris Boucher. Yeah, we give him Chris Boucher that trivia treatment because we love you, Chris. And hopefully Chris will watch it today and he'll get a laugh how the Raptor freaks talk about his life here. All right, guys. What way did the Raptors acquire Chris Boucher originally? Like, what was the very first thing that Chris was on for the Raptors? How did we get Chris to the Raptors in 2018? How did we get him on our team originally? That's an interesting question. Everybody kind of like, wait, how do we get Chris? How did we get him? 2-way contract? That's wrong. 10-day contract? That's wrong. Yeah, 2-way contract, 10-day contract. It's wrong. Golden State Warriors? Wrong. He was waived by the Warriors. We did not get him in a trade. So how did we sign him? It wasn't to a 2-way. It wasn't to a 10-day. It wasn't from G League. What was the contract we signed him to originally? And this is crazy. Like, once I tell this to you guys, you're going to be like, holy crap. It was a free agency signing, but what was the kind of contract we signed him on? It wasn't a 2-way and it wasn't a 10-day. It was not a camp invite. It is technically kind of a camp invite. Mid-level exception? No, we did not sign him to a mid-level exception at that time. Nope. I'm still waiting for the right answer. and it's a certain kind of signing. Free agency is technically right, but I want more specific. And mid-level exception is not right. Invite to camp's technically kind of right, but it's not exactly right. It's the type of contract that he got. I want somebody to say it's not a two-way. It's not a 10-day. Undrafted free agent? No. Minimum contract? No, that's not what they call this. There's this very specific term for this. Summer league contract. You guys are getting warmer. That's not what it is yet. Let's just say I think that Kevin O'Banner was on one of these last training camp. I think he was on one of these last training camp or something like that. Okay, we're getting closer. That's not exactly the right word, Roger, but you have part of it right. You just got to name it. It's two words that I need. It's actually a word and a number. Standard contract's not right, G. He was not signed to a standard contract yet. I'll tell you in a second, and you guys are going to be blown away. Seriously. It's not a two-way. It's not a 10-day. It's not a summer league contract. It's not what is this? There's another type of contract you can sign. There we go. Isaac got it. He got signed to an Exhibit 10. Exhibit 10. That's right. Isaac got in there and seagulled it. That's right. Great. Yeah. Google Chris Middleton's name. Don't AI it. I did both, and there's no answer. He has no. You got to understand, Monique. There's two Chris Bouchers that are famous. There's a Chris Boucher that plays for our team, and there's a British author named Chris Boucher who lives in England and writes books. And you may be getting his middle name as your answer. Chris Boucher of the Raptors does not have a middle name. There's not publicly known. There's a Chris Boucher who's a writer in UK, and you may be getting the answer for him. So, all right. So it was Isaac who got Exhibit 10. Now, do you guys understand what an Exhibit 10 contract is? The Exhibit 10 contract is the guy who gets signed to come to training camp, and he's probably going to get cut. The Exhibit 10 is not a two-way. That's two-way is way more of a commitment to that player saying, yeah, you're probably going to make the team because you're on two-way. It wasn't a 10-day contract because it wasn't during the season. It was Exhibit 10, and he came in and he kicked so much butt in that training camp that he got on to a two-way. And then he went and did so good in the G League that year, winning the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year at the same time in the same year that they gave him a standard contract at the end of his first year with the Raptors, right around when we went to the championship. So, yeah, he went from Exhibit 10 in the summer of 2018 to a standard contract by next spring. And that's crazy. That's kind of like Jamison Battle kind of stuff, guys. Jamison Battle had that kind of a year this year for us, going from out of nowhere, undrafted, with no real guarantee contracts to a guarantee contract that he got by the end of the year. So, yeah, good job, Isaac. Yeah. Isn't that what Quincy Guerrieri got last year as well? Yeah. Quincy was on an Exhibit 10 with us last summer in training camp. And you see, it's really hard to make the team from an Exhibit 10. So it is a huge accomplishment what Chris has done. In some ways, it's a little bit reminiscent of Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet, undrafted, went from like no contracts, a guaranteed, to like this to this to this to this, and finally like to a starter and an all-star. And well, Chris's climb from obscurity to being a full-time NBA player and now a role player with like almost 10 years in the league, it really did start from nothing. Exhibit 10, man. The Warriors played him like a couple of games. They barely played him. They played him one NBA game his rookie year. And then he came and played for us. And he barely played for us in the regular Raptors, but he played a lot in G League the first year he was on our team, our championship year. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. That's exactly what Quincy was on last summer. That's right. Y'all, good job, man. I really am impressed with how many different names are on the trivia list today as far as getting answers. I know Fiercey got a lot of them. But, man, we got Trevor and Randolph and Isaac and Roger and so many different other people showing up and getting in here that it's fun, man. It's fun. I think we had like 10 or 12, 10 different people get answers today. That's fantastic. All right, we'll switch gears back to regular Raptor Freak channel stuff right now. Appreciate all the participation in Chris Boucher Classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia today. All right, let's get into the referees for tonight. There is a game one of the Western Conference Finals tonight. And James Capers is the crew chief, and he favors the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tyler Ford is the referee. He favors Minnesota Timberwolves. And Mark Lindsay is the umpire. He favors the Oklahoma City Thunder. The alternate is JB DeRosa, and in the replay center will be David Guthrie. So, yeah, that's the crew out there. It's a pretty even crew. It's not too bad. Like, there's no refs that really, really, really favor either team overly much. They're kind of close. But in this situation, Minnesota has more losing in their history than Oklahoma City. So often they're going to be a little bit below the Thunder in the refs percentages. So, yeah, that's the crew for tonight. Tyler Ford and James Capers and Mark Lindsay are the referees for tonight's game. Boom goes the dynamite. We're going to do straight goods on Canadian goods since we're talking about Saint Hubert. Why not? Let's just go ahead and do Saint Hubert because that is who Chris worked for when he was a youngster and he dropped out of school. We'll just talk about Saint Hubert real quick. Saint Hubert is based out of Laval in Quebec. They've been around for 74 years. It's a casual dining experience of rotisserie chicken, salad, and ribs. And yeah, they've got let's see, how many restaurants they have right now? They have the second highest customer loyalty of any restaurant in Canada after Tim Hortons. Wow, I didn't know that. They've got even better than Swiss Chalet. That's pretty good. But yeah, Saint Hubert is around, and it's where Chris used to work. So if you want to, support Canadian businesses, you don't want to go to eat Popeyes or Kentucky Fried Chicken, go get Saint Hubert or Mary Brown's or Swiss Chalet. You'll be supporting Canada stuff. Saint Hubert kind of has an overlap with Swiss Chalet a little bit on the rotisserie chicken. But yeah, if you know where there's a Saint Hubert near you, go ahead and eat there, man. Apparently it was mentioned once on Jimmy Kimmel Live by Jay Baruchel. He said it's his favorite restaurant in Montreal. So there you go. There you go. So yeah, that's your straight goods on Canadian goods. Go eat at Saint Hubert in honor of Chris Boucher in his old workplace that he used to work at. Yeah. Fiercely saying, why are West playoffs starting before the East? Pacers and Knicks were done earlier. Just curious. Yeah, this is weird. You're right. Maybe they should have started the Eastern Conference Finals last night. And then they could have started the Western today with no problem. I thought it was going to be the Eastern Conference Finals today, but they're giving these Knicks and Pacers a long time off, apparently. They're giving them a long time off. That's totally true. Like it should have been East starting first, but maybe I don't know why. There's maybe scheduling. Maybe it's something to do with Madison Square Garden and scheduling. Something there's this concert or something. They're like, oh, we can't have this here because this is going on. We got Taylor Swift or something playing or something. I don't know. It could be a scheduling conflict or something bumped it. But yeah, it's weird because this means that the Eastern teams, they haven't played since Friday. They're going to play on Wednesday. That's like a 5-day break almost. Wait, 4-day break. And meanwhile, the Thunder are only getting 1 day off and going right into the Western Conference Finals tonight. That is a good point, Fiercey. That's weird, man. I'm curious about that too. Most give me the W streams, W vibes, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew, strong forever. Just helping me limit the comments. I appreciate that. I'm out. Miss ya. Yeah, we'll see you very soon, June the 7th, and enjoy your day at NBA Restaurant, where we're going to do the birthday party for Superfan Mo on June the 7th, 5:30 p.m., NBA Restaurant, Queensquay, Toronto, downtown. The first ever NBA restaurant in the history of the NBA. They built it in Toronto on the lake, and we did an awesome birthday party there last summer, and we're going to try and do it again with the Superfan Mo, June the 7th at 5:30. She's going down there right now with Jackie, and they're going to go eat, and they're going to set up the appointment a little bit clearer. So I would say right now, I'd say there's at least maybe 5 of us coming from Raptor Freaks. The Cool Cats coming. Adriana, myself, Evelyn said she's going to probably come. So we're going to have to see who's coming, man. Who's coming? That's right. Smooth saying Saint Hubert is in Toronto. I thought they were only in Quebec. Well, we do have viewers that are across Canada. So I got to give the straight goods all in regionals. I know I don't see Saint Hubert here either. You're right. I don't think I've ever eaten at one. But it's Chris Boucher Trivia Day, so I had to do the straight goods on a Canadian good that is personal to him, and also one of the trivia questions. So why not? Fiercely saying Saint Hubert is a meh, but their creamy coleslaw is solid. Solid. All right. This is good info. Stargate saying that's the league helping the Knicks. They know Tibbs. That could be right, man. I mean, I'll get into these spaces with Stargate on conspiracy theories. The Knicks, with the short rotation and a madman of a coach that runs his players in the ground, they're already kind of beat up. Seriously, I think on the download, Jalen Brunson's hurt. Josh Hart got mangled in the face last series, was bleeding all over the place. I could see this being some sort of weird strategy to try and help the Knicks be a little healthier to start against the Pacers. I could see that. In some ways, this will be helpful for the Pacers also, because I'm sure they have nagging injuries too. But yeah, I wouldn't think it's either that, what Stargate's saying, or the scheduling conflict I said just a couple minutes ago. That it could very well be that there is, something going on at one of the buildings that they're going to play at, and they have to put it off from that. That could be part of it right there. But yeah, I'm thinking Stargate might have part of it too there, as far as helping the Knicks with being run down from Tibbs. That's right. Fiercely saying, hoping the Knicks fans don't act up and control their emotions. Some of them have nasty behavior. Yeah, Trevor just pointed something out on our Discord. Is that where you posted that? I saw, Trevor. There's something about like the Tyrese Halliburton is inviting a fan who got beat up by the Knicks fans to the game on his accord. Like he's saying, he's reaching out to this guy and saying, you should come to the game and be at the game, because it ain't right. That's what I heard. Something like that. Let's see what else is going on with you guys here. Info is saying, doesn't the WNBA use the same arena? I don't know if in New York, if they're using, are they using Madison Square Garden for Liberty games? Because that may be part of it right there. Because there may be a Liberty game tonight. Is there a Liberty game tonight? I'm pretty sure there is. Yeah, y'all keeping up with your WNBA fantasy teams? Because, man, I'm having fun so far. I've gone off to a good start. I'm beating champion Memke right now in our matchup. Yeah, is the New York team playing tonight? No, the Liberty are not playing tonight. So that's not a good reason for them not to be playing there. Who has home court advantage in between New York and Indiana? That is New York, right? New York had the better record. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. That may be wrong, though. Maybe it is Indiana who's it. Fiercely saying, my daughter has her confirmation on Sunday, June the 8th. Yeah, so I guess coming to Toronto on the 7th isn't going to work if you got to be back there on the 8th. Well, we're going to figure out a time when you can actually come, MJ. When we can, that'll be awesome. And even if you're coming at another time, we'll put a Raptor Freak hangout around you coming here. So just keep me posted and give me enough lead time so that I can get things organized. Yeah, get things organized. Fiercely saying that the Liberty play in Brooklyn, not at MSG. Do they play at Barclays Center? They play at Barclays Center with the Nets. Yeah, that makes sense. The Madison Square Garden's not probably a good arena for the WNBA in some ways. It may be a little too big, and it's too old, honestly. There's a lot of issues with Madison Square Garden, even though it's a mecca and it's been around forever. It's old school, and there's not some of the modern conveniences of other arenas in that place. It's a very, very old building. Very, very old. Trevor's saying a couple of big concerts was going on at Madison Square Garden. That's why my cousin is in New York, went to Concept there last week. That may be, I think that's what it is more likely. It could be very well. There's like Billy Joel's playing or something like that. There's a Madison Square Garden, Billy Joel for like the 1,000th time at Madison Square Garden. I don't know. It's probably something like that. Is likely, and also consideration of what Stargate's saying. James is saying if OKC beats the Wolves, they have a good chance of winning it all. I agree. I think that they're the favorites out of the four left. I mean, not just because of the record, but because of weapons and different things about their team. Out of the last four teams, I think the Oklahoma City has the best chance of winning it. I really do. I really do think. I think that they, out of the four, because in some ways, I think that the Pacers and the Knicks are very evenly matched, and they may really destroy each other in this finals that's starting tomorrow night, this Eastern Conference Finals. And then on the other side, I think the Thunder may handle the Wolves a lot easier than people think. That in some ways, the Thunder might really they might even sweep the Timberwolves. I'm just going to say that. They had a really tough series with Denver just recently. And I don't know if Timberwolves are going to come at them with the same kind of moxie and energy that Denver did in some ways with the experience and stuff like that. We'll have to see. But don't be shocked if the Thunder sweep the Western Conference Finals, guys. And remember, I said this right here. Remember, I said that right here. That's right. Stargate saying OG looks low key hurt as well. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's just part of it. They're going to be the long season this far into playoffs. You're playing every other day now in the playoffs, and it's intense physical playoff energy. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not watching the games, so I can't gauge them exactly right, but I am positive there's probably at least everybody's got a little bit of a nagging injury to possibly a severe injury that they're just playing with anyway. You know, we found out after the Celtics went out that Jaylen Brown was very hurt after the series got out, that he had a torn meniscus. And obviously, Jason Tatum had to go have surgery the day after he had to leave the game, and he couldn't play for the rest of the series. So there are definitely people playing hurt in the last 4 teams playing in this this playoff this year. Definitely. Fiercely saying, given time for the Knicks to recoup, they are now the focus since the Lakers and Celtics are gone. Yeah, I mean, they would love that. I mean, 2 years in a row of getting 2 Atlantic Division top-notch teams in their eyes championships, refresh the Celtics with some championship gold, finally refresh the Knicks with some championship gold this year too. I hate that. I don't want that to happen. That's why the Knicks need to lose. Go get them, Siakam. Go get them, Pascal. Put OG out. I'm sorry. I'm very firmly on Indiana's side. No rooting for the Knicks at this point. You did your job. You took out the Celtics. Now you need to see the door next. That's what I say on this. That's right. That's what I say right there. Fiercely saying they're literally threw garbage bags at a Pacers fan. So distasteful and wrong. That's what happened. Okay, so Tyrese is inviting a person who they got garbage bags thrown at them by New York fans, Indiana fan. I'm telling you, it's sometimes sports brings the worst out in people. I'm going to say that. Wayne saying at Fiercey, I asked my son the same question. OKC played on Sunday and back playing despite being in a 7-game series. Knicks Pacers seems to have a lot of time. Yeah, this is a weird one. I actually thought that the Eastern game was tonight. I didn't think that they would start the West before the East, but well, apparently here we are. Did they play last night? I didn't even know. Was there an Eastern Conference Finals game last night with the Knicks and the Pacers? And I didn't even know. No, there were no games last night. Not a single game on either hockey or basketball last night. This is weird, man. What are you doing, NBA scheduling? Why'd you set it up like this? You know, it could actually be an advantage for Oklahoma City at the end of this series if they get done quick with Minnesota. Like I said, if they sweep the Timberwolves and New York gets into a 7-game series with the Pacers, well, they get done with their 7th game. They're going to be playing in 2 days in the finals, whoever wins that Pacers-Knicks. So that could be how it could actually help the Thunder in the end. I would also argue that the Thunder are on a high from beating the Nuggets on Sunday, and that it's much better for them to only have 1 day off and go right into it today. So this could be an advantage for Oklahoma City too, because that's the pattern. Sometimes you have too much time off, you come back flat, and that could happen to the Pacers and the Knicks tomorrow in their first game. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, let's see. Smooth saying, yeah, a bunch of Knicks fans threw trash at a guy wearing a Pacers Halliburton jersey. That's just not right. Why did you do that? That's just not right. That's dehumanizing and not right. Liberty plays at Barclay. Okay, there's good. Yeah, there's a video of them doing that. Well, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. And that kind of stuff shouldn't go viral. And Knicks Nation, if you think this is funny or great, y'all are horrible people. That's what I say right there. You're horrible people then. Trevor's saying Barclay Center was where the Liberty play. Okay, yeah, you guys are both chiming in on that. Fiercely saying, I actually think the Wolves are stronger than the Nuggets. Their bench produces. Yeah, I mean, I maybe should give more credit to Anthony Edwards. I should maybe give more credit to the possibility of Rudy Gobert doing certain things. Possibility, not for sure. Julius has been amazing this playoff. In some ways, he's been one of the most underrated players this playoffs and not getting enough shine himself. Julius Randle. Yeah, I don't know. I we'll have to see. The first game will tell us a lot. Like if the Thunder just kick their ass and beat them by like 30, the series is over in 4. I'm going to say that right now. If the Thunder blow out the Timberwolves tonight, the series will be a sweep. If they beat them by 20 plus, I'm going to say that right now. Yeah, let's see. Stargate saying if Indiana can play the defense they played in the last series consistently, they will have no issues with the Knicks. Woo! I love the sound of that, Stargate. Woo! I like that tune. Please keep singing it. I want to hear this. I want to see this true. That's right. James wants to scout Will Riley. Will Riley. All right. I haven't done this in a while. We'll do a scout of the day for James. Will Riley. Canadian player Will Riley is from Kitchener. So he's from the place where Jamal's from. He's 6'8.25. 6'8.25. That's so weird. 6'8.25. And he's 185 pounds. He went to the Phelps School in Malvern, Pennsylvania for high school, and he's gone to Illinois. Is Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year this year. Interesting. He's a 5-star recruit, according to all the major scouts for college players, 5 stars all around. So that's a good sign. He's got a blue chip rating. Let's go look at him on the tube. YouTube, Will Riley, real quick for Raptor Freak James, real quick. Let's see what's up. Will Riley basketball highlights. How about that? There you go. There you go. Let's see this kid. Let's get a shorter one. Let's see his tournament highlights versus Xavier. All right, let's see what's up here. All right, let's see. What's this guy look like? He's number 7. He's got a really loopy dribble, very loopy dribble, up and high. That was an interesting move. He did a really good job holding the defender off with his off hand to be able to get to the basket and make the shot. Let's see. This is a miss, and he's going to rebound. Why is that? Okay. Oh, it's a block. That's the highlight. So he went up with 2 hands to block. That's weird. There's a nice lob. He couldn't collect himself. He ran too far. His footwork's a little wrong there. He really should have had better footwork there. I would say that. Maybe he needs to be more clear in thinking about his footwork. Let's see. There's a nice little backdoor cut on a nice little pass from the center. Yeah, his hops look okay. You know what he reminds me of? He's a little bit like Carter Bryant. Like, he's not as strong as Carter Bryant, but he's a similar position and a nice wingspan kind of player at a forward. Like he's probably small forward, maybe power forward in some cases if he got stronger. Let's see. He has a really loopy dribble. He brings his dribble up too high, if you ask me. Like, he may be susceptible to turnovers. Yeah, I like that little play to the basket with the dunk. Okay, he took the pressure there pretty good. There's a nice little crossover into a 3. That's not bad. The defender was lagging off. Yeah, I think this kid's going to definitely need a bigger frame as far as like his upper body. But he's really got some really nice long limbs. And I could see him being a good defender in the NBA. I could see him being a very good defender. That he just barely outreached that guy to make that shot. Interesting. I don't know. He's got to be stronger. Where's he projected at, James? The 3-point shot's okay. He's actually got good mechanics on his 3. Interesting. Kitchener's Will Riley. Not bad. Not bad. I don't know where we look at him in the draft or like what kind of stuff we should expect from him. Where's he getting mocked at? Where's he getting mocked at? That's what I want to know. Is he getting mocked at? Where is he getting mocked? Mid to late first round, 3-point shooter. Yeah, his 3-point shot looked good. It looked good. It didn't have any kind of weird hitch or anything, and it looked real smooth, and it looked duplicated. So yeah, mid to first round, good. All right, cool. Let's see. All right, where am I in the chat? I did that scout for James. Oh wow, where am I? That's so to say. Oh yeah, there it is. Tristan's here. Good to see Tristan Trey. It's been a little bit, my guy. How you been, man? How you been? I hope you've been doing good, Tristan. Yo, Lex, what's up, fam? What's up, Tristan? Good to see you, man. Glad to see you back, man. Stargate saying Chet has got to play better for OKC. He's gonna be more consistent. And I mean, it'd be nice if he could be offensively consistent, but he really needs to be consistent defensively. Because when the Thunder have him playing as a defensive deterrent and he is an issue, they are a way better team. If he kind of fades away and he's not asserting himself on defense, they're a much easier team to beat. So Chet is a huge X factor. And it's really like, it's that kind of stuff like Frank Cornette was doing for Boston a couple games ago before they got eliminated. Chet's got to do that. He's got to do that Victor overwhelming, I'm so long-limbed, you guys do not want to come anywhere near me in this part of the floor kind of stuff. And when he does that, man, Thunder is so hard to beat. You add that with the physicality and tenacity of Isaiah Hartenstein, and man, that's a really good combo, seriously. And that's part of the reason why they'll probably win the championship is because of Isaiah and Chet, depending on what they do. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah, I would say the defense for Chet is so integral, so important for them. Stargate saying, I'm thinking the Raptors may go for Fears if Common is not available at 9 and then try to get Maxine in the second round. This is an interesting draft strategy. You know, there's a lot more talk. You know, ESPN is shading us once again with their latest mock draft. They have us picking Colin Murray Boyles, but they say in this, and this is what they're trying to say all of a sudden on ESPN. They're saying that there's an obvious top 8. So the Raptors just miss out on the top tier of players in this league. Like, you're just writing that crap, Gavani, your bullshit, Jeremy Gavani, or whatever your damn name is, you and Wu, talking this crap. It's like, it's the gaslighting. Seriously, Raptor fan will go look at that, and it's in some ways they're trying to plant the seeds of being mad at our front office for not tanking harder. Because, oh my gosh, ESPN perceives there's a top 8 in this draft, and we're picking 9th. ESPN trying to do this crap. Don't fall for it, Fan Nation. This draft is deeper than it is. They're saying, and they're so full of shit. It's just the way they do little shade things towards us and try and undermine and be gaslighting towards Raptors Nation. So don't listen to this shit. Seriously. Now, if this is the thing. Common is, like I said, he's going up in the mock drafts, and right now he's on, like, they were showing him around Pelicans pick. That he'll get drafted there. Now, I do believe that Messiah's promised Common Malawach, if he is still available at 9, we're going to pick him. But if he's not, we're going to pick the best available draft, is what Stargate's saying here, and that could be Jeremiah Fears. So, and then we try and get the backup center or project center in the second round at 39. And I'm fine with that. Renault had an amazing combine. And this may be the thing that they need to do. In some ways, that'll be the fun of it, is on draft day when we pick 9th, it's going to be coming out of left field. I don't think we can really predict what Messiah and Bobby will do on draft day at pick 9 at all. I mean, it's really hard at this point. I don't want them, because like ESPN's saying, get Colin Murray Boyles, but I can see them just trying to saddle us with a non-offensive, undersized player. And I don't want that. I feel like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, oh, he would give tenacity of defense and fit in with the Raptors' reputation, but he's not a good shooter, and he won't help Scotty and Brandon Ingram with floor spacing. That's basically what that ESPN article says. And I don't like that. In some ways, I do want to get somebody that will help with the floor spacing, because that is going to be important next year. And, defense and rebounding is important, but not at the detriment of a player who's absolutely non-offensive. And especially picking in the top 10. If you're going to pick somebody in the top 10, you want somebody who can be able to score to a degree, or have the ability to score in the future as a project like Malawach. But in some ways, I don't like Colin Murray Boyles drafted at that spot for the Raptors. I would advise Bobby and Messiah to avoid that, because you're building undersized into our team just by making that pick. And that's why ESPN wants us to do it. It's that right there. That's why they wanted us to take Jalen Suggs instead of Scotty Barnes, because Jalen Suggs is undersized at his position, and Scotty's actually oversized for his position. So I would rather go with the oversized player. I'm sorry. This is basketball. Height matters. And Colin Murray Boyles may be a tough, tenacious defender and rebounder, but he is undersized, and he will be a liability in this league. And I don't want to draft a liability right from the start. Nope. Especially when his strength is something, in some ways it's like, yeah, he's great and everything. He's probably a great college player, but will he be a good NBA player? Maybe not, because he's not tall enough, is what I'm saying right here. That's right, because he's not tall enough. Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah. Tristan's saying, I like to watch team highlights rather than player highlights for better evaluation. Yeah, I do that more for timeliness, because like if I'm going to scout a player, I don't want to watch like a whole Illinois highlight. I'd rather just watch Will Riley, because I want, in some ways I need to watch it with just Will Riley highlight, partly because I don't know who the player and what he looks like. So it needs to be the player that's centered around in the highlight. Because I may be watching a team highlight and I'll be like watching the wrong player and I'm like, oh, wait, that's not Will Riley. So it's like I need it kind of the player highlight for that. But I get what you're saying, Tristan. That makes sense because in some ways the player highlight's going to show the absolute best stuff of them. And in some ways, if you watch the team highlight, you may get some of the warts also in there and see the bad stuff too. Yeah, that totally makes sense. James is saying mid to late first round, good third 3-point shooter. Yeah, that's what Will Riley is slated at these days. Infamous saying, have you looked at Rasheer Fleming? He is around our pick. Yeah, we scouted him in January, but I'm going to circle back. I need you guys to come back in here and keep giving me these scouts again, since we're on the home track to the draft next month. Yeah, I'll probably have to go back and look at Fears and Fleming and Murray Boyles and Kasparis and all these players that are right around there, Igor Demon. Yeah, and I want y'all to call them out. James got in and got Will Riley already, but we'll do Scouts of the Day every day from now on, right up to the draft. If you want me to do Jeremiah or whatchamacallit, Fleming, I'll do them very soon. I'll do them like tomorrow. I'll do one of them tomorrow. Just come back tomorrow. I'll do the next one. I only want to do one a day. But yeah, we'll definitely do those coming up. That's right. We'll look at Rasheer Fleming again. Infamous, for sure. All right, let's do the Instagram stories since Trevor's giving my cue. We'll start with Leo Routens. His words of wisdom today are, not many talk about this, but peace comes with a lot of goodbyes. Yeah, I know this. I've said goodbye to the city, and I've said goodbye to a lot of people, and now I'm out here peaceful in the country, in the woods. It's the price to pay for peace. I get this, Leo. I do. He's also got a praise for hello, grace, VIP leaders. I think that Leo Routens is doing a VIP reading somewhere, and there's quite a panel of different people. I'm not sure who those other people are, but it looks like he's going to be involved. So cool stuff. Leo Routens doing a discovering you, VIP reader, grace readers. I don't know exactly what that is. And this is Leo's words of wisdom for today. Kindness is loaning someone your strength instead of reminding them of their weaknesses. This is a beautiful thing. Seriously. And this is something I need to be better and better at as I get older. It's something I've been working on my whole life, is really understanding what you say. Is it worthwhile? Is it kind? Is it nice? Is it absolutely necessary? Because we can say so much to fill in silence, and sometimes it's absolutely worse than silence. They say the old thing is like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's a really good rule, honestly, because, there's something about being honest and truthful, and there's something about being kind. And sometimes it's much better to be kind and shut up and not say something, even if it's true and honest. It doesn't need to be said. And I think that Leo's word of wisdom here is kindness is loaning someone your strength instead of reminding them of their weakness. It just says this so beautifully. It's like, seriously, if you care and love about people, don't like come down on them and point out all the things they did wrong. In some ways, that's not the right way to love them. And I'm horrible at this. I got to get better at this because I can be very critical and very picky. But yeah, I love this word of wisdom by Leo Routens. This may be one of the best words of wisdom this whole entire 2025 right here. Kindness is loaning someone else your strength instead of reminding them of their weakness. That's beautiful, man. Eugenio Moroy still on that Lagos trip tip. More life for his nephew. He's got a nice little picture of the little guy, and they're hanging out, taking some funny pictures in the Mario Kart pictures. Let's go, nephew of Eugene Omoroy. More life, Neff. That's right. Let's go. Andrew Jones still putting his wife on blast for supermom status. She's in the quarterfinals now. And Julia is what matters most to me at the end of the day is my health and happiness of my kids. Keep voting for Julia, Coach Andrew Jones, his wife, for Supermom. Supermom stuff. Slim Duck, the subject of our trivia today, was riding around with his kid yesterday. His kid in the back seat. It looks like the kid was eating some wheat thins or something and hanging out in the car seat, having a good time. Chris is just cruising with the youngster and having a nice time. Good to see Chris happy, playing some Lil Wayne on there. And Chris has got some funny clip of some guy working out and some guys reacting. Chris has a lot of funny stuff. He's got some clip from the People's Court. If y'all want to laugh, man, seriously, check out Chris Boucher's Instagram stories. Seriously, some of this stuff is hilarious. This is always a funny one. He's posted this one before. There's a picture of these two little kids, and the caption says, "Me when they trying to interrupt my peace." And one little kid is wearing his little pajamas. And he has his feet kicked up on the table, and he's eating a cookie, and he's just happy, and he's just ignoring the hell out of his sister, who's crying her eyes out and bawling right at him, and he's just sitting there, just like, life is good. So Chris is like, people are trying to be drama queens in his life, and he's just like, I ain't getting in this. I'm just gonna chill and be happy. And your energy is your energy. We're keeping them separated right here. Chris has got a quote from Bruce Lee this morning. Bruce Lee once said, "You will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you." Wow, that's deep. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of power in serenity of not reacting. Seriously, some people will try and get a rise on you just on purpose because they get entertainment from it or some goofy shit like that. No, this is so true. Like the powerful, wise man does not react, does not lose his temper easily. It's somebody who will actually like weather the storm and calmly think things through. And if they really do want to get back or have some issue, they'll think about it and they'll get it the right way so that they're not making it worse by reacting in the moment at that time when the passion is high. So this is so good, man. You will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. That's beautiful, man. Be water, my friends. That's what Chris is saying right there. Be water and let it flow around you and not be a problem. That's right. That's right. This guy just said, you know why there's sidewalks? Because the streets ain't for everyone, motherfucker. This will be on Chris's Instagram. I don't know why it's so funny, man. That's why there's sidewalks. He's got George Wallace on a talk show. I don't even know what's going on there. This is crazy, man. Chris, your Instagram stories are off the chain, man. Seriously. Savannah Hamilton still celebrating Asia Hamilton for graduating from Boston University this past weekend. Very, very cool. And Savannah's saying that who's your biggest hater? I don't know. Probably my left knee. That MFer hates me because it's never working right? Toronto Tempo has an open court coming up. Let's see what's up here. The court is yours. Bring your friends in your game. 3 to 8 p.m. daily at Stacked. So there's actually a basketball court set up, Toronto Tempo basketball court. So you guys can go down there and get some shots up with the Toronto Tempo. Also, man, there's a really cool drop that came out yesterday. We see the first OVO Tempo gear is going to be dropped. It's a hoodie, and they've got all these WNBA teams in a row, OVO gear. They got the Pacer, the Fever, the Storm, the Liberty, the Sun, the Sky, the Aces, and the Tempo on top. And man, this Tempo hoodie looks fire. It's an OVO Tempo hoodie. They're going to start selling them soon. So yeah, look out. What's the date? On the 23rd. They're going to sell these in 3 days from now. WNBA hoodies by October's very own. Coming soon, guys. Coming very, very, very soon. Let's see what else is on WNBA. Yeah, just the schedule for the events coming up this weekend. Young Oach is celebrating Christian Brune on his Instagram stories. A nice dunk he did against the Clippers in the playoffs this year. So I guess he's celebrating him getting hops and getting in the air. Christian Brune of Kansas, of course. Teresa Resch is putting on blast some big step-ups, including the GM of the Toronto Tempo, Monica Rogers-Wright, and a couple of other young women that are in the picture with them. Jamal Shed is really putting on blast this Jewel Institute. It's an education institute in Houston, I believe, and maybe that he is a family member involved or something like that. But sign up and come on in for specialized and small group math tutoring at Jewel Institute. AJ Lawson was down by the Toronto waterfront yesterday at the marina, taking a nice picture from across the lake of Mississauga from the Toronto side. So yeah, AJ, I know where you were down there at the marina. It looks like you might have been near the arena at Ontario Place, maybe possibly. Shamshay putting on blast the electric feel. Chris Boucher reposting the montage that was put out this weekend. Chris Boucher highlights from last year. I love seeing it. The electric feel. Yeah. It's so good, man. Scotty posted it too. Scotty reposted it and put it on blast, Chris, too, with the electric feel on his Instagram. I love it. Emmanuel quickly last is saying 2K NBA My League Season 3, DM to get in, PSN or Xbox. So, yeah, Emmanuel is recruiting for his 2K team for the summer again. So get in on that if you play 2K and you want to play 2K with a Raptor. Emmanuel is doing tryouts right now. So you got to get on his Instagram stories and DM the guy, Biz style this, and maybe you can get on the team with Emmanuel and play 2K on the video game with him. There you go. There's your Instagram stories for today. All kinds of stuff going on with the Raptors right now. That's right. That's right. Thank you, Trevor, for the cue. Stargate saying Blackhawk was the person who put me on to this Maxim kid. I'm very impressed with what I see with that kid. Great scouting, Blackhawk. There you go. I like that. Yeah, I liked what I saw too. Seriously, like I really like the way he steps into threes on the outside. And I think that he has some real potential. Like I see some good stuff with him too. I want to look at him some more, honestly. Definitely. We might have to call a rescout on Maxim Renault very, very soon. He looks real good. Real good. Yeah. So Slug Easy saying drafting Fears would be a direct slap in the face to Quickly. Ooh, I don't necessarily want that. I really don't. Quickly is much further along, and in some ways, we want to continue to ride with the guys we've got. I don't really want to make any moves or trades because the synergy and chemistry and feel and vibe on this team is very high level and very, very good chemistry, and you don't want to mess with that. Seriously, little things like this can hurt. You know, people like Emmanuel. Emmanuel likes the rest of them. Nothing wrong. So don't mess with it. So in some ways, that's why I'm not real big on any point guards getting drafted for our team. I'm really not big on it. I'm really, really want a big as much as possible. You get a big center, preferably 7 foot. If not, a power forward that can really, really do stuff that is not undersized. A wing is not high on my list. A backup point guard, but in the second round would be more likely. I think that getting a 9th pick point guard would be a direct, like people are saying right here, thing with Emmanuel. And we don't want that. We don't want that. In some ways, Shed is already going to be competing with Emmanuel to a degree in a healthy way that we don't need a third point guard added to the mix that'll cause problems. If we get a third point guard in the draft, we need to get them to be primarily on 905 this year. I'm sorry. And they can't be a high-level player that demands being in the NBA right away. That's the way I would look at it. So I tend to agree with this with Slug Easy that we don't need to get a high-level point guard at number 9. We really, really shouldn't. And if we do draft a guy who's supposed to be a point guard, if they're 6'9" and they can play all over the place like Scotty does, well, we don't have to play them at point guard, do we? No, we don't. Somebody like Denim, right? Demin? Is that what you say his name? Yeah. Slug Easy saying, I read that already. Let's see. Monique saying, what do you think of my draft research, Lex? Oh, I've seen your posts. You do this every year. Mo's been posting profiles on different players that the Raptors might draft. And you guys should check it out. If you're not following Superfan Mo, you should. On every platform you can find her, and especially Facebook, because that's where she's posting a lot of her draft research is there. Yeah, so you guys can check it out. She's got a lot of good information. Stargate saying Murray Boyles is way too small. Yeah, I agree with this. I completely agree with this. They just had the interview, like I watched this morning with a Google person with Scotty Barnes, and they're asking Gemini AI questions about Scotty and whether they're accurate. And it's a pretty funny little clip. It's about 12 minutes. And for the most part, the AI was pretty accurate with the answers for Scott. And he said, yeah, that's pretty much right. It's pretty much right. There were a couple of interesting questions, like who's the best player on the Raptors? They asked AI that, and AI said RJ Barrett was the leading scorer. But if you take into account not just scoring and all the other intangibles, it's probably Scotty Barnes. Scotty didn't get upset about that. In some ways, the AI said RJ Barrett before him. And that's mainly because RJ was the highest scoring Raptor this year. But, that was interesting. Another thing that it's asked AI was who was Scotty Barnes' mentors? And they mentioned John Simpson, who was very integral to Scotty's upraising and being a father figure and getting him on the right track. And they also mentioned Brian Macon, but they also mentioned Fred VanVleet. And that was an interesting moment in that little AI interview with Scotty, because that was a moment where he could have been very disrespectful towards Fred, but he wasn't. Some people probably expected him to make a little weird face. And like the Google guy was kind of saying, is that last one right? As far as a mentor to you, is that last one right? And Scotty said, yeah, it is. It is right. Hello, Pensair, fuckface, idiot. he who shall not be named. Scotty Barnes just said on a Google AI ad that Fred VanVleet is a mentor to him. Now, where's all the apologies from the Fred haters who hated Fred because they hated him because of Scotty? Scotty never had no problem with Fred. I've said this all along. Nobody wanted to listen to me. Everybody wanted to make some sort of BS between Fred VanVleet and Scotty Barnes that was not there. And y'all are idiots that did this the whole time. It's disrespectful to Fred VanVleet. And honestly, y'all mischaracterized your hero, Scotty Barnes, this whole damn time, Robert Pensair, because he had no problem with Fred. And he even said on this that, yes, Fred was an early vet for me. And he was a mentor, an important person to me. See, Scotty ain't got no these issues. Scotty fans have issues with people they think get in Scotty's way, but Scotty ain't got no issues. Y'all, he never did. Y'all manufactured this bullshit. Robert Pensair basketball, you idiot, with your dumbass shit, Misovich, with your dumbass shit over on your channel. Seriously, you totally manufactured a beef between Fred and Scotty that was never there. And shame on you for that, Robert. Seriously, shame on you for encouraging Raptors fans to be hateful towards our great Fred VanVleet, because he didn't do nothing wrong. And Scotty has never, ever thought of Fred in a negative way like y'all thought he did. Disrespecting Fred. Oh my gosh, for no reason. They also asked AI, how tall is Scotty Barnes? And AI said he is 6'7.5". And Scotty smiled. Scotty said, on some days I am 6'7", but on other days I'm 6'9". And now we know this is always a fun topic of conversation. How tall is Scotty Barnes? Well, AI says he's 6'7.5". But Scotty says, you know what? Listen, when I come out in the court, see how I look standing next to other people that are supposedly 7 foot and stuff like that. And you tell me how tall I am. Scotty said that straight up in this interview. I was like, yeah, Scott, you're right. You can eyeball test how tall Scott is when he plays basketball. You don't need the program that you get from the NBA at the beginning of the game that says he's 6'7" to believe that. We know this man's 6'9" at least. Come on. It's a joke. It's a joke. But yeah, it went over his style. It went over what music he likes. They did not mention country. It's weird, AI. You got a blind spot. This guy's a big country fan. You didn't even say that as a genre that he listens to. Yeah, it's a very interesting interview. Google AI interview. AI was pretty accurate with Scotty, but I don't think that was like the normal AI that we're all using on Google. I think that was a souped up Google AI that was kind of more in depth. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder what it would say about me. I wonder if we should ask Google AI, what is the Raptors freak? That would be pretty interesting, man. But that would be pretty interesting. Yeah. All right, let's keep going in the comments here. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, he's way too small. I agree with this, Stargate. Yeah, it would kind of look a ways still, but hey, we'll see. Okay. Trevor's saying, don't forget, OKC has Alex Caruso, playoff player. He brings the experience to his team. He turned the ball over when he's on the court. What? Those teams turn the ball over when he's. You mean he makes teams turn over the ball? Man, Trevor, you got to be clear, man. He causes turnovers is what you're basically saying. That Alex Caruso can cause turnovers. I think that's what you're trying to say. Okay, Stargate saying at Slug, the same can be said about the draft if they draft Fleming. That could mean they are not too confident in Mobo just quite yet. Fleming is like a more offensive, higher basketball IQ version of Mobo. Well, I wouldn't be batting an eye if they got another guy at that position like Jonathan. But in some ways, we got to understand Jonathan's place on this team isn't like Emmanuel's. Emmanuel's invested as a high-level, high-contract player that's got to be like getting better and better as a leader and starting point guard. Jonathan's a backup big off the bench, and we could have multiples of them, and it will help. It wouldn't be shots fired on Jonathan particularly specifically. It would be like, hey, all the bigs on the Raptors, hey, this is their new big guy, and he's going to be trying to get some of the minutes from y'all, so you got to compete with him. So I wouldn't say that's direct shots fired on Mobo, Stargate. If we went and got Fleming, I would say that's a direct shots fired on Jamison Battle, Ulrich Shamshay, all of them. And it's like, hey, y'all all got to compete with this new guy now to get the minutes. Last year, Jonathan got a lot of minutes his rookie year. He probably shouldn't have got, partly because of injuries And maybe some of the more of that time should have been on the 905, honestly. He's lucky he got so much rookie time on an NBA court, honestly. Or seriously. Stargate saying he is pretty good option to back up Scotty off the bench. Fleming, Rasheer Fleming. Yeah, we'll have to see, man. I'm going to sort all this out. I'm going to get my 5 best picks for Masai and Bobby for the draft narrowed down soon. I got to do that work, though. I'm going to do that off, I'll do that very soon, probably in the next week. Smooth saying, Pacers all the way, man. Can't support OG, man. He checked out on our team. Pascal played 100% till the very end. Yeah, I don't want to slate OG, but I mean, if you're really talking about who wanted to be here more, yeah, Pascal did. And if you want to talk about who it seemed like worked their ass off right up until the end, yeah, I would say that too. There's probably Siakam over Anunoby, but I don't want to slight OG still. OG's a professional. OG did come and play for us. OG fulfilled all his obligations to the Raptors, and we can't really kind of gauge everything totally like this. We can't. Plus, we got to remember, OG's a very private, weird person that in some ways, we know that OG's a great guy. Come on now. We don't have to diss one for the other, but I'm definitely with you on supporting the Pacers and Siakam to beat them. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely there. Fiercely saying, as much as it pains me to admit, Smooth is right. OG did check out well. Pascal maintained his professionalism till the end. I mean, it's all how you want to look at it. Listen, did Jimmy Butler maintain his professionalism with the Miami Heat before he left? Okay, there's levels to this. So I would say OG maintain his professionalism also, guys. It's just that everybody has a different level of maintaining their professionalism, and there's a much worse level of not maintaining your professionalism in certain ways before you leave a team. Trust me. And OG's fine, guys. We can't expect everybody to be like absolutely perfect. Engaging them against each other is not really fair because they're very different personalities. I think that that's something to say right there. Yeah, Slug saying Stargate, we didn't pay Mobo $5 to $35 million contract. That 5-year, 3. Yeah, that's part of what I was saying earlier. In some ways, Mobo is a second round pick that if we get anything from him over the years, that is a gain because in some ways, some of these second round picks are only in the league for 1 or 2 years and then they're gone. You know what I'm saying? So I think Jonathan's gonna be fine. He'll stay in this league for longer than that. But I'm just saying it's a whole different other scale of expectation between IQ and Jonathan Mobo. Very, very different expectations. Very, very different. In some ways, Jonathan's already exceeded expectations in his rookie year, but he can go even further and exceed them more. I know he can. That's right. Let's see. Adriana's here, and she's going to chime in saying, I love Fred. She loves Fred. That's right. We know she loves Fred VanVleet. Wayne saying, when's draft day or draft days? Yeah, it is draft days, 2 days. I believe it's like the 12th or the 13th of June. So it's going to be just under a month from now, just under a month. That's right. Let's see. You're asking me if I watched Andor. I don't have any time to watch anything right now, Smooth. I have even less time than I did when you asked me to initially watch it. My parents are here. So every single moment that I'm not on the stream like this, I'm probably with my parents, either helping my dad with a project or hanging out with my mom, playing Scrabble with my dad, going out to eat. So I have no free time to watch anything right now. I'm not even watching my regular YouTube stuff. And I'm not doing anything that I normally do. This is not a normal month for me. This is family time. And like I live out here by myself most of the time. So I really want to soak up as much time with my parents the month or so that they're here. So that's why in some ways I'm doing like what I got to do for this channel, like writing the trivia up really quickly so I can get back to spending time with them. So yeah, there's no binge watching of TV right now. None whatsoever. And there won't be until probably near the end of June because they're not leaving for a while. They're not going to be gone for at least a month still. So yeah, I'm not going to be watching anything or doing nothing. I'm busy hanging out with my folks because I can, and it's awesome. Fiercely saying, I do remember that one time we saw OG, and it looked as if he had cried, and Darko comforted him. Yeah, I mean, he's a sensitive guy, man. He's a sensitive dude. He's not what everybody thinks he is. He's a lot different than he seems. Like he's a very funny and kind of mean person, honestly, on the down low. People, if you actually heard OG, some of the stuff he says is very catty and kind of mean to people. Seriously. If you guys knew the real OG that's on the plane, if they really let real OG come out, you guys would be shocked at just kind of how crazy he is. And some of the stuff he says to people, like he's a prankster. He's kind of mean, man. He plays really mean tricks on people. Like he does all kinds of weird shit. He's the kind of guy that'll mess with you when you're sleeping on the plane. Let's just put it that way. He's kind of like that. Stargate saying, true at Slug. I'm not comparing the two because it's completely different scenarios and situation. IQ versus quickly. That would be foolish. I mean, IQ versus Jonathan. That would be foolish of me. But remember, he's your franchise player's best friend. And that matters. And that will give him legs to be here. But let's just put it this way, Stargate. We don't really want Jonathan to be the main backup big off the bench. We want him to be auxiliary and like possibly there. Like I'd really love Ulrich to step up this year and show that he needs to get more minutes on the Raptors, because in some ways he has a higher ceiling and potential to grow into than Jonathan. And even though Jonathan did more last year, in some ways there's guys that are going to come up over him that may come up in this team soon. Maybe a draft pick this year, maybe Shamshay. So in some ways, we want the depth in the front court, and Jonathan is great for that depth. But where is he in the hierarchy of the depth? Like starting center, Jakob, this power forward starting, Scotty. And then you got, Jonathan, the first guy off the bench as the big. Is that an area where we can improve our roster by having a bit of an upgrade as the first big off the bench? I don't know. I think Jonathan's very useful. He's a very versatile player that can do pretty much everything Scotty can do on another level, a little bit lower. And he'll have a place on this team. But in some ways, could his place be more like Thanos's as time goes on? Like, that's what I would ask. Like, seriously, he's getting his heyday. He's getting his NBA dream. But that doesn't mean he needs to be a starter. That doesn't mean that he even needs to be a rotation player at times either. He could be like end of bench and just depth and helpful just in case kind of stuff, next man up stuff. So we'll just see. We'll just see how it all evolves. If Jonathan makes some leaps offensively and he becomes something totally different, well, that could change things, what I just said. I think the path for Jonathan Mobo is wide open in all kinds of different ways. I could have described a couple of different things just now where he could go. If he gets more of an offensive game and he becomes more powerful, yes, he has a path to be more like somebody like Siakam that just comes out of the blue and just becomes something big. But is that likely? That's what I'm saying. Is that likely? We'll have to see. But I think that if you have other bigs that are competing with Jonathan on this team, that'll make things better for us because we'll have more better rebounding and defense and different options. If somebody fouls out, somebody's injured, well, we don't want just Jonathan to be our main big off the bench like he was this year. Seriously, Jonathan was like our only dependable big off the bench. Kelly Olynyk the beginning of the year, then he got traded. Then after that, Shamshay was hurt. And who really was our backup center? Well, Orlando Robinson, sure. Okay, Colin Castleton a bit, sure. But Jonathan was really that main big backup big coming off the bench for us for a big chunk of the season. And in some ways, we could improve that as a roster overall. We could have a better player doing that in some ways. That's what I would say. Yeah, let's see. All right, where am I on this? Trevor's saying, I'm not worried about Raptors in this draft. I have too many good players this draft to choose from. I agree with this. There's a lot of good players, and I think in some ways ESPN's trying to downplay it. Even if it's not who they think is the top 10 player, we may be drafting somebody who surprises everybody this year. And everybody may be like, why did the Raptors draft them at 9? And then they'll find out in the years to come. I mean, that's our pattern. That's one of our actions with Masai Ujiri in charge is we'll draft a name, and some people will scoff at it. Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam? Who the hell is that? Yeah, who is that? Who is that now? Who is Pascal Siakam? You tell me who Pascal Siakam is. They laughed at his name when they drafted him to the Raptors way back out of New Mexico State. So let's see if we get a laugh on our draft again, and we'll see who's laughing last later in the years to come. Because I could see that. They could have somebody that's totally off the radar as on a lot of draft boards as far as this is not a top 10 draft pick on anybody's draft boards, but it is on Bobby Masai's because they know something, they understand something, they go and get them, and they feel very comfortable drafting that person at 9 because they are going to grow into earning that 9th position in the draft board. They may not look like it coming in because these people don't see it the same way as Masai. They may not see it the same way. Masai sees it, and he's kind of like, you know what? This guy, we could draft him and reach a little bit right now. I know he's going to be this, Bobby. We're going to reach and grab him at 9. People are going to laugh at us, but we'll have the last laugh in 3 years from now. I can predict this. Bobby, this is one of Messiah and Bobby's moves, seriously, where they do this, right? Right? They'll do this. That's right. Stargate saying that could mean something or not, or just something to consider. James is saying, Lex, who do you want the Raptors not to draft with the 9th pick from the players you already know? Well, I'm off of Queen. I'm definitely off of Queen. I do not want them to draft Derek Queen. He's a possibility of being out of shape. And, well, he doesn't like taxes, apparently. And that's the first impression he gave me, is a comment on, oh, they have the bad taxes in Canada. So it's like, I don't want to play in Canada. I don't know. Queen is off my list. He was like number 2 on my list after Malawatch, but he's off my list now. So I would say that's the one for sure right now. I'm like, don't go near Queen at this point. And maybe that's what he wanted. He's like, I don't want to play in Canada. I'll say something stupid and I'll get picked off the draft boards from Canada's draft board because they don't want to. Toronto doesn't want me. Yeah. Stargate saying, I believe they're actually looking at Ulrich to be Yak's backup this season coming up. I believe they are going to fast track him, especially if they don't get Common. This makes sense. This makes sense, Stargate. I could see this happening too. And they should. I mean, hopefully Shamshay's already not hurt right now. Like he's already healthy and he's able to work in the summer work that they're doing at OVO right now. I mean, he was at the Leafs game on Sunday with Colin Castleton, AJ Lawson, Jared Roden, Jamal Shed, Jacoby Walter, all of them together at the Leafs game. So he's in town. If he's healthy and healed from his injury from G League this year, hopefully Shamshay can be working and getting that early work in. And if he has good gains this summer in certain ways off of the knowledge he gleaned from his bit of NBA experience and all the G League he did, maybe he can progress this summer and make some leaps and be able to be dependent on for a role similar to what Stargate's describing right here. That would be interesting. That'd be interesting. Especially, I think if it's not common, we may need to speed up Shamshay's project and getting him closer to being able to play with us. Stargate saying, I agree with you, Lex, on Jonathan 100%. Just as long as Scotty understands who and what Jonathan is in the team and is okay with it, then we're good. Then all I'm saying, these kids these days. Well, listen, this is the interesting thing. Scott, man, I think in some ways Scotty is already feeling so blessed and grateful that Jonathan made the dream happen. I think that the fact that Jonathan was the only rookie that got a triple-double this season is very special. I think the fact that Jonathan Mobo was the first player ever drafted on the second day of an NBA draft in the history of the NBA is special. I think that, it's already so special. Scotty said Jonathan's his best friend in the AI interview that I talked about earlier. Listen, Scotty's realistic and he understands. And in some ways, you got to understand, Scotty wants the team to win primarily. In some ways, he wants it more than he wants personal accolades for himself. Seriously. So if Scotty's logic is he wants the Raptors to be the absolute best version of themselves, he will be truthful and honest about his friend and his place in it. Does that make sense? And I think that in some ways, the fact that Jonathan's already tasted that NBA money, the NBA experience, in some ways, it's like he's good. It's not that he's good for good. I know he's going to play and he's going to continue to have an NBA career. But God forbid, if Jonathan Mobo's career in the NBA ended in the next 2 years, I don't think Scotty would be salty about it. I don't think Scotty would be salty about it. And I don't think Jonathan would be either. I think that they'd both be feeling very, very blessed that the experience happened and that it happened. And they'd be able to look at it in a professional, realistic way as saying, this is what the NBA is. It's a business and it's not a given thing. You have to earn it. And sometimes it's not there for everybody for the whole entire career. I think Jonathan's got it, though. I think that he's showing progress. He's got a true NBA body, and he has the ability to get better and better. He's smart, too, and he's learning quick. And that is a big, big thing that'll keep him in this league, especially if you follow instruction well, you're a good citizen, you fit in with the culture, your best friend is the franchise player. These are all things that will help him stay in this league. Yeah. If Chris Boucher can get to this point and be at this point in his career right here, Jonathan Mobo can too. I'm not saying that he won't. I'm just saying, just in case any of this stuff happens. I mean, seriously, let's think about this. If Scotty's really demanding with the franchise and saying Jonathan has to be here no matter what, that's not good energy. That's the kind of stuff that Giannis and LeBron would do. And I don't think Scotty would do that. I think that in some ways, us drafting Jonathan was very organic And sure, Scotty may have had something to do with it by kind of being associated with him. But Bobby went and scouted Jonathan on his own without Scotty's knowledge. And Bobby liked what he saw with Mobo separately without even Scott. So there is a case to be made that Jonathan Mobo's spot on the Raptors is made by himself and nothing to do with Scotty Barnes. Seriously. I mean, it doesn't hurt. And in some ways, it will help him stick around longer than the average player that comes to the Raptors. But we'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. I hope I laid that all out. That makes sense. The first priority for Scott is the Raptors winning a championship. And if Jonathan being on this team adds to it, he's all for it. If it's a case where it's like, man, we could upgrade the roster, we could be a little bit better, but we're going to have to let go of your best friend. Scotty probably would be willing to do that. He's already said goodbye to best friends and Delano Banton and Justin Champagnie. They're not exactly best friends like Jonathan, but these are really close friends that he's had to say goodbye to. Malachi Flynn, Goran Dragic, so many players that Scotty bonded with that came through the Raptors already that are gone, that he just knows it's a business. And that's just how it is. And, if Jonathan's not on the Raptors and he goes to another team and plays for another team, Scotty won't be upset about that because his friend's still in the league at least. So this is an interesting question. I love that you brought this topic up, Stargate, because it's something to look at and kind of talk about and suss through it. But it's understanding Scott's psychology and what the number one priority for him is, and that's the Raptors winning championships. And that's even above his own. It supersedes his own individual accomplishments. That's what he wants. He wants the team to win the Larry O'Brien. That is his focus, his sole focus, and he has to do it through his own body and get there. That's right. James is saying Ulrich can provide the Amir Johnson type of hustle, I feel. Yeah, he's very quick on his feet. That's why we love the idea of what he could become, is because he's extremely agile for a man his size and his arm length. And he has so much promise, man. I'm telling you, the name Ulrich Shamshe will matter in the NBA at some point, guys. It's not going to be like Bruno Caboclo. This is going to be somebody who's going to come through with his name. Seriously, I'm telling you right now. Stargate saying, yeah, Queen killed his chances with me as well. Stay down in the States and play with a bad team that goes nowhere. Yeah, and gain a bunch of weight. Get drafted by the Pelicans and go to the buffet with Zion. Let's say right there, Trevor's saying Jonathan will continue to develop into a very special player. That young man's going to go far. Yeah, I think it's partly because, well, he does have a friend that's very helpful, but that's not the main reason. The main reason why is because he's an astute young man that cares. He's a man of God, and he's a man that wants to be better and better. And he has the gumption and the drive and the work ethic to do it. It doesn't matter he came from a JUCO at San Francisco. It doesn't matter that he was not on any draft boards like just a couple months before the draft. It doesn't matter. This man's going to carve it out, and he's going to do it. And he has all the physical specs to do it. In some ways, that's the hardest thing. Either you have the body to play in the NBA or you don't, and Jonathan does. And that's a big, huge thing that will help him right there. He has the body to play in this league. That's right. That's right. All right, let's go look around a little bit. See what's on the tabs real quick. They got NBA storylines on ESPN, all kinds of stupid stuff on ESPN. I don't even know why I look at this site. Seriously. I don't even know I go to ESPN at all. Let's go to Raptors Reddit, react to them a little bit. They're saying Giannis not being a fit with Pirtle is an outdated concept. And I think they're showing the three-point made by Jakob at the beginning of the game against Portland. That's what they're saying, that because Jakob can hit the three now. So he can be like Brooke Lopez. I mean, seriously, whoever made that rule that said Giannis Antetokounmpo can't play with Jakob Poeltl? Who made that rule? Who's making these dumb rules I hear all the time? Like, who writes these rules? Jakob can't play with Giannis. They don't fit. That's the most stupid thing I've ever heard. Who's making these rules? Who's the NBA genius that makes all these rules on this stupid shit? Who's talking all this crap? That's crazy. The Raptors fans are throwing it in the Leafs' face. They're saying on Reddit, throwback to when a Toronto superstar actually showed up for a critical game, and they have a picture of Kyle Lowry in the earn not given red and white chevron jersey. It's like, this is when, and this is the game when we won the championship, when Kyle went off and scored like all the points at the beginning of that Golden State game in the finals. Yeah, they're comparing Kyle Lowry Grote to the mess on the guys on the Leafs that didn't show up, like Matthews. They calling each other, there were too many passengers in this game, is what they were saying. Mitch Marner said that, the balls on that guy, after what I learned about his Bradley Beal ass. Yeah, no wonder Leaf fans are so mad at him. He's saying, we got too many passengers in the game on game 7 against the Panthers. Too many passengers in the game. What's this like? That's another way of saying y'all play cardio. You know, because you're on skates, you're passengers. You're not just doing cardio like on a basketball court. Oh, so you got a bunch of guys doing cardio in the Leaf game on Sunday. That's what you're saying? You're blaming it? Oh, too many passengers sitting there watching, not driving, doing cardio. Just a lot of guys skating out on a rink. Why don't you go to City Hall, Leafs? You can skate around there. You don't need to have no hockey goalies and goals and referees. You can just skate around in circles if you're going to do that, Leafs. In game 7 against the Florida Panthers, you can just go to City Hall around Christmas time and you can rent some skates and get out there in the place where the Raptors had their championship parade and their big party when they won it the last time. You guys can go down there and skate if you want to have cardio skate. That's right. You want to go have free skate? Go down to City Hall. You don't need to do that in the playoffs and toy with all the Leafs emotions, the Leaf fans' emotions, to go to a 7-game series against the Florida Panthers just to crap the bed and be passengers. Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing in your life, Leafs? Happy birthday to Julian Wright. Former Raptor Julian Wright is 38 years old today. So happy 38th birthday, Julian Wright. That's right, Julian Wright. I don't know. You guys remember Julian Wright? I don't really remember him that well. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's see. That we need to do the classic card. That's what we're going to do right now. Oh, wait. Let me read the comments that y'all wrote in here real quick. Leafs making excuses. Yep. Trevor's saying, we all have a purpose on this earth of choices. Do good or do evil. The choice is yours. Which road will you take? Trying to do good. Trying to do good as much as possible, Trevor. Trying to do good. Yeah, in a world of crazy evil right now, we got to do as much good as we can. Seriously. Smith's saying, no more patience with them. The fans are justified in being very angry. Yeah. If you guys want to be justified in anger, go ahead and live your life in anger. I'm going to live my life in love. And I'm going to go forth with love. Just like Randolph Phillips is saying, let's go out there and give love to this world. Just like Trevor's saying, we can go out and give love or hate. It's your choice every day. You make it. Leaf fans, you have a right to be angry, but do you want to be? You only suffer for it. I'm telling you right now, just accept it for what it is. Move on, and, well, hopefully it'll get better next year. Hopefully you get better, or, get mad and go yell at the front office and make them make changes. It sounds like y'all want them to make a lot of changes and, like, really make changes. These cards aren't very good for playing the classic card because they show the name 2 places, and I can't hold it to hide both names. It's kind of sucks. All right, let's see. How do I do this? Let's do it this way. All right, classic card of the day. Full name answer, please. Full name answer on the classic card. He's wearing a Spurs jersey. If you know who this classic card is, let me know who it is. That's right. There's always next year. That's right, Leaf fans. There's always next year. That's what they've been saying for a while. I know we've been saying that a little bit too on our team. There, I got to cover this up, man. Classic card of the day. Okay, Fiercey's got it. She wrote it in right. Patty Mike, but Patty Mills. Patty Mills, Australia. Put another shrimp on the barbie. Australia. I come from a land down under. The golden thunder. Catch you hear the thunder. You better run. You better take cover. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, Patty Mills. Patty Mills. Patty Mills. Patty Mills. Not to be confused with Patty Duke. Patty Mills. Patty Mills. All right, let's see. Patty Mills will get you 100 points for Fiercey on the classic card. Fiercey's having a good day with the trivia score. We'll have to see if Fiercey caught up on Slug Deezy a little bit because Slug Deezy did take 2nd place in there. Yeah. Oh, wait. Kaz did get it before. Wait, you're right. Adriana's calling it out, saying Kaz got it first. He's right. She's right. So I got to change it. Sorry, Fiercey. You did not get the classic card. Kaz did. Trucker Kaz is getting it. Good call there. She saw something was wrong and she called out. She got it right. There you go, Adriana. Yeah, and Fiercey's even correcting me as a kind and just person, a good person, a do-gooder. That's right. No worries. We can split the points. Nah, you got it, Kaz. You got it straight up. Patty Mills. Patty Mills. I don't know why I didn't see yours first. I don't know why I didn't see yours first. All right, let's see. Where am I at? I'm on 5 minutes over. I better get done. I better get a water first. All right, what am I missing? I guess I'll do the rundown. I think I did everything today. We did the trivia. Yeah, we did the trivia. It was good. All right, let's go do the rundown real quick. Tonight, there is a game. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals is Minnesota at Oklahoma City. We're not sure why this game is starting before the New York one. It's weird, Adam Silver. I don't know. What are you trying to do for New York? Seriously. James Capers Jr. is the crew chief. He favors the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tyler Ford is the referee. He favors the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Mark Lindsay is the umpire, and he favors the Oklahoma City Thunder. So favor for the Thunder at home. Like I said, if I see the Thunder blow out the Timberwolves tonight, I'm going to guess it's going to be a sweep. Is what I'm going to say right now. I'm going to say that right now. Boom, because they're like that. Y'all go to St. Hubert. We're talking about Chris Boucher today. And St. Hubert was an important employment place for Chris when he dropped out of high school, working as a dishwasher and a cook at St. Hubert. So, yeah, y'all go get that chicken. If it's in your area and you can go eat at St. Hubert, it's a Canadian company, Canadian goods, getting the straight goods on Canadian goods. We're trying to support Canada here. So stop eating at Popeyes. Stop eating at Chick-fil-A. Stop eating at KFC. Start eating at St. Hubert, Mary Brown's Chicken, and Swiss Chalet. Support Canada and Canada, y'all. That's what we're saying right here. Support Canada and Canada. It's important. Do you understand? It's very, very important. Yeah, let me see. What else we got? Let me go through this real quick. Oh, there's some pictures of RJ wearing some clothes. Trevor posted in the Facebook. There's a clip on Zach Edey's off-season workout. Interesting. I might have to look at that. Yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing what we're doing on the Facebook or in the Discord, well, there's a ability to join the channel on this YouTube, and you get access to these places. Breaking news 24/7 with Trevor J, Monique, the superfan Lawrence, and other people dropping all kinds of information all the time on Raptor stuff. If you want to be in the know, as much in the know, you know you're in the know if you're watching Raptor Street, first of all, because every day you're getting the intel. But you're really in the know if you're in the Raptor Street Discord or in the Facebook group, because that stuff is breaking news all the time, like a ticker tape on CP24. That's right. You will get that news every single day if you join the channel. Julian Wright, happy birthday. I'll say that one more time, and let's get out of here. I guess that's it, guys. Don't have anything else to say on top of this. Thank you for watching the Rabbit Freak stream this morning on a Tuesday. I'll be back for Wow Wednesday tomorrow. We'll see what I'm wowing about. That's right. You'll see what I'm wowing about. Stargate saying, did you do the Canadian products? Yeah, St. Hubert, where Chris Boucher used to work, is my Canadian product today. Go eat chicken at St. Hubert. I don't know if we have any in Toronto. I don't think we do. Yeah, WNBA games are on fire. Yeah, they've been pretty good so far. I've been very, very happy with my team performing. I think Natasha Cloud has been fantastic so far this season. And yeah, I'm very happy with my WNBA team. In some ways, I was worried about it. It looked shaky from the draft, but it's actually performed very well. And I'm very active on the waiver wire. I picked up this Chinese center that's playing for the Seattle Storm, the backup center, and she's been doing okay, pretty good. So yeah, there's be active with your fantasy team and WNBA fantasy. You have a better chance to win. That you got to be active. You got to be doing something. You got to be doing something. Piercy saying, I swear, it better not be Ed Malloy or Scott Foster at the Pacers-Knicks game. It doesn't matter. They're going to send whoever they're going to send. It's up to the team to overpower the other team and just kick their ass to the point where the referees can't be a factor. That is kind of the honest truth. If the game is kind of half-assed and it's too close, the referees will guide water to the side they want to win. But if you get a double-digit lead and you kick so much ass that the referees cannot control the ending, well, that's how you win for sure. That's just how you got to do it. And Toronto's always had to be this way. We've had to be this way since the early 2010s when we started to rise up with Masai in charge and Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. I used to say this 15 years ago. I'd say stuff like, man, the Raptors, if they really want a chance to win in this league, they have to have a double-digit lead because the referees will screw them over if they don't. So it's important to get out and get on top by a lot. Very, very important. And if you do that, you can beat the Celtics in Game 6 instead of in Game 7 back in Boston. You get out there and you trounce the Celtics like the Knicks did last Friday. There's no chance of Ed Malloy and Scott Foster railroading the game and extending the game like Scott Foster's nickname is, the extender. Yeah. Oh, real quick, I want to do this before I leave. Here we go. A couple. All right. When I'm doing the research for Chris Boucher's trivia today, I went on his basketball reference, and there's a couple of nicknames on there that I did not know that he has. Seriously. And, we're the Raptors freaks. We should know everything about the Raptors, especially the longest standing Raptor, the most points off the bench in the Raptors history, Chris Boucher. Now, we know Slim Duck. Obviously, that's his nickname. That's the name of his Instagram handle. He's the Slim Duck from Oregon Ducks. That makes sense. I had a hand in getting this name popular, and really, I think I was one of the first people that started saying that, calling him Trey Boucher. That just makes sense. It's a catapult. The way he used to shoot threes was very much like a catapult, and three is a Trey, and Boucher is his last name, and Trey Boucher is a catapult. It's just a beautiful nickname. I think it's the best nickname for Chris, honestly, Trey Boucher. Now, there's two other nicknames on his basketball reference profile that I never heard before. Never, ever heard before. And I want to see if y'all have heard it before. One of the nicknames on there is Bloc Quebecois. Who out there is calling Chris Boucher Bloc Quebecois? Seriously. I know that's a political party that's in Quebec, but who is calling him Bloc Quebecois? Have you ever heard Jack Armstrong call him that on the broadcast? No, they don't mix politics into anything on there. Has anybody in Fan Nation ever called him Bloc Quebecois? Seriously. I don't remember anybody calling him Bloc Quebecois. It's kind of a weird nickname, seriously. And then the other nickname that was really, I was like, pause on this one. This is not totally appropriate. And it kind of, I've never heard anybody call him this. And maybe they call him this in the States, and we don't know that they call him this. All right, we know that his last name is the same last name of the main character of Adam Sandler's movie, The Waterboy, Bobby Boucher, right? Well, they're calling Chris in some circles the Swatter Boy. The Swatter Boy, a play off of Boucher being his last name in the movie The Waterboy. Some people call him the Swatter Boy. Have you ever heard anybody call Chris Swatter Boy? In some ways, I don't like that nickname for certain reasons, obvious. In some ways, it's also like, who the hell has ever called him that? The Swatter Boy. I know that when American announcers call our games and they see the Boucher game, they have to say something about Waterboy and Adam Sandler and the stupid-ass movie. And I think this is where this comes from. But I've never heard anybody in Canada, nobody associated with the Toronto Raptors, not any of us fans, call him the Swatter Boy ever. Have you ever heard anybody call Chris Boucher the Swatter Boy? Seriously. Seriously, man. Seriously, man. Seriously. Trevor's saying Bill Canada is a sellout. They're taking the high-speed internet south of the border. Bell Canada is a sellout. They're going to sell high-speed internet down south. Well, I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, we want Canadian products sold in the United States, Trevor. And in some ways, I would say anything competing with Starlink, that's great. Fuck Elon. Fuck Tesla. Fuck Starlink. Fuck SpaceX. Fuck X. Fuck Elon in general. Fuck Doge. And, well, if Bell wants to get more in the telecommunications pie by going down south, power to them. I say, go get it. Go get it. That's what I say on that. That's right. Fiercely saying, Stargate, this trivia is presented by St. Hubert Rotisserie Chicken. That's right. This is the sponsor for the day. Not really. W Stream, W Community. Thank you, Kaz. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Cool Cat, Coach Cool Cat. Have a great day, everyone. Bloc Quebecois. Laughing my ass off. Yeah, I never got that one. Have you ever heard Chris called Bloc Quebecois or the Swatter Boy? Yeah. Cause saying the French natives on the Quebec side. Are they calling him that? Who's calling him like Bloc Quebecois? Isn't that the separatists political party, right? That's right. Maybe as in block. Yeah, block. That's what they mean. Like blocked shots. Quebecois. That's what they mean. That's the play on it. They think they're witty. Yeah. Yes, block. Yeah. Makes sense because I couldn't get the political reference. Thanks. Yeah, Bloc Quebecois because he's from Quebec and he blocks shots. So he's Bloc Quebecois. Stupid. Don't give any like nah. It's dumb. It's dumb. Yeah, no problem, MJ. No problem. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go. You like the Bloc Quebecois nickname? It's better than the Swatter Boy. Honestly, the Swatter Boy. Who the hell's calling Chris Boucher the Swatter Boy? Nobody calling him that. Nobody's calling him that. All right, let's go. Weak ass wordplay. Yeah, let's go, Raptors. Woo.